Tony hates when I scroll down.
Yeah, that shit is so terrible.
It's so vexing.
Yes.
But we can look up and we can see that it's working. But
yeah, welcome. This is another Conscious Reconstruction episode. I am here with Ash and the host, aka Just Charles. He's gonna host the show today. He didn't know that.
Huh?
Yeah, you see how surprised he sound?
Yeah.
That's real live surprise. Surprise on air.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
This is you.
You know all the topics.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, go ahead, take it away.
Why are you out here trying to deflect our job? See, he got this taste of not always hosting things. And now he wants to defer the hosting on to me.
Not all the time.
I like this.
All I know is just like Charles should change his ways and how he's acting. K. Michelle has changed her face and how she's acting. And so, you know.
Why are people so upset with her? I can understand.
I'm mad Charles went right back to me. He's like, no. So my main question, why are y'all upset that K. Michelle did this?
Like, she did it to herself. She didn't do it to a child. She didn't do it to anybody else.
I guess upset isn't necessarily the right word. It's more of you are already an attractive woman. And then you made yourself look like a Kardashian.
I mean, Kardashians make themselves look like us. So it's just like...
But that's counterintuitive. If they make themselves look like us, then there should be no need to change, right?
I mean, quintessentially.
But she felt like there was, clearly.
I mean, it was very odd because Ashley said she got lip fillers. And large lips are a fundamentally African-American feature. So quintessentially, the only thing that black people have that we don't particularly like now are noses.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize my nose was considered to be large, but I thought almost everything on me in terms of like facial features were tiny. Like I have tiny ears.
You do got tiny ears. Look at me discovering.
That's an on air.
They're so cute.
Oh, look at that.
Tiny ears, fairly tiny nose. Like my eyes definitely aren't beady or anything. So it's just like, but then again, it's just like, so I don't know. It's literally the only thing that she really changed from that and skin tone. Yeah, the skin tone thing is definitely problematic, but that's not even only us problem.
So I don't really necessarily want to talk about K. Michelle. I want to talk about the standard of beauty that African-American women are held to. And so I'm mad Charles made that face like, I don't know.
I mean,
I know Charles.
You're attractive or you're not. That's always a relative thing.
This nigga not helping.
That's always a relative thing.
I was about to him to say that. I would never hear you say that.
Can you interject, please, as a black woman? Help
it's
me.
It's a relative thing.
Help me.
Oh my god!
If someone finds you attractive or someone doesn't find you attractive,
why he got us over here in this dangerous territory?
He really did. He came out and said it, huh?
Yeah, just came on hot.
Guns is blazing.
Everyone's gonna
Charles.
think everyone is attractive.
No, that's not
different.
what you said.
It's different for you. You either ugly or you not. You either good looking or you ugly.
Yeah, what you said.
Damn.
You either good looking or you ugly.
When I look at a person, it's just like, okay, you're either somewhat kind of attractive. I mean, there's kind of a gradation, but once you hit like, I don't think you're attractive. I know I don't think you're attractive.
Let Ash talk.
About what? What to say after he said that?
Yeah,
whatever I'm saying.
I'm mad that he said that. That was Ash. What do you think about society's how society places standards on black women's appearance?
I think as long as the predominant person that's in charge, which is white people, they always gonna want their standard of beauty look like them. If black people was in charge, they would want to look like them. But right now, it's kind of going through a resurgence where now they want to be more curvier. Now they want to have more full lips. I think they always wanted it, but even modeling is starting to change a little bit. They still want this real thin, Rafy, lady. Let me not shun on the skinny people.
That's not necessarily about that. It's just like there's a difference between being like thin and then looking like a stiff wind can take you away.
I always say, I was just thinking about this. This white dude was telling me the other day, we was chit chatting. I'm like, what you call a fat ass? And he started giving me all these porn stars, these white porn stars with this fat ass. And I'm like, tis not a fat ass. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, I'm really confused as to what his definition was fat ass. I'm trying to think of somebody y'all know that he would say. Not a porn star, just somebody walking around. Not Cardi B.
Jennifer Lawrence, probably.
Something on those lines. Yeah.
Based upon that, it's like that stereo. Her, girl who plays Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, they think them asses is fat. Like they was just like, oh,
stuff like, oh,
you're like, yeah, that's kind of.
I guess the stereotypical Meg Thee Stallion. If you don't have to jump, put your jeans on, then you don't really have.
And in our community, I know it's different, but now I'm seeing a subtle change where like even eyelashes are starting to get a little out of fucking hand. Now everybody want to have the fattest ass and then the skinniest fucking waist. It's like.
And the longest eyelashes.
And the longest eyelashes and the straightest fucking weave. Like I'm not trying to keep up with that standard.
Mm-hmm. Straight hair thing is never really.
It never really went anywhere. It's been around since what?
Well,
since niggas could straighten their hair. So,
but it's something I've never fundamentally understood. It's just like, I mean, I do like longer hair, but I don't necessarily judge it by the inherentness of the straightness.
It's all about length too. I mean, we got a lot going against us. Your hair got to be long. You got to be relatively short. Not
necessarily short. Well,
but
I guess
you can't.
Well,
I guess that's more of a man thing than it is a black man thing. But you got to be relatively short. Usually, niggas don't want you to be taller than them. Usually.
I mean,
what else?
I don't normally have to run into problems like that. Most women aren't.
That's true. I'm not saying I run into those problems a lot, but I also know that if nigga don't want to talk to me, regardless of my height, he not gonna do it. If he taller than me, shorter than me, he not gonna do it. But
I've never. I don't know. My qualifiers are so not really. Like certain things are more important than other things, and height is never really something like I've always almost would have rather have dated someone taller because as a person who's dated predominantly shorter women, it's very annoying when you break like 6'2". It's just like, what do you got to do? I got to come down here.
Knock, bitch.
I got to take. Yeah, I pretty much got to take like an elevator to get down here. Just like
like you relatively have to be kind of like short, petite. Your eye, you got to be your ass got to be fat for niggas. What else do you have to have? Yeah, long hair.
Your butt got to be big for everyone.
I'm not saying light skin is a fucking prerequisite, but for some reason, if people keep lightening their skin, then clearly they aspiring to have, there's a standard there.
And it's weird because it feels like there's an inverse for men as it is for women. Because for some reason, women seem to like darker skinned dudes and women's
the standard on that is generally perspective. Light-skinned women are the more one that's upheld and vaunted one, yeah. But light-skinned women
or men.
No, I don't care about the men. Light-skinned women like dark-skinned men.
Oh.
They don't like the other light-skinned of them. So because then it's like they're competing for attention.
Huh. As light-skinned dude, I don't understand.
He's like, I'm speaking for my brethren. What's going on here?
Most of your girlfriends been dark-skinned? Have they been black?
No.
Or brown? As light as you?
Only one has been as light as I am. If you're talking all the black.
Yeah, I know.
But I've always probably tried to date black women that were darker than me.
Yeah, that's generally how light-skinned people are.
I mean, it's never really been a conscientious choice in terms of the skin color. I either think you're attractive or you're not. You've been through this earlier.
Wait, so dark-skinned women like dating light-skinned men? Is that what you're saying too?
Dark-skinned women generally do like dating light-skinned men.
Okay.
Light-skinned men like dating dark-skinned women. Light-skinned women like dating dark-skinned men. And you'll see a lot of dark-skinned men with light-skinned women.
I'm like sitting on, I guess I'm firmly light-skinned because you're darker than I am and you're considered to be light-skinned.
I'm in the middle. In the summer, I can hit a dark skin complexion. In the winter, I'm light.
So you like one of those stick plugs that are just kind of blending in wherever you're at.
I've literally had people tell me, you're just light enough for me to talk to, or you're just dark enough for me to talk to.
Damn.
Yeah. Like verbatim, like
Judgy.
you not as dark as I normally would talk to, but you dark enough. Or
Why are they so judgy?
you just light enough for me to talk to you.
And it feels like women are harder on women than men are.
Yeah, we are. What the fuck do you think like buying Chanel bags is for? That's for you niggas. That's for another bitch so I can stun on her with my Chanel bag and my Manolo Blahniks. Like, that shit ain't, all our standards is for another bitch to be like, ooh and ah. It's definitely to get another man's attention, but what we really want is the approval of other women.
I mean, I've never looked at a woman because like, ooh, she has a Chanel bag.
That's
why is
exactly,
that?
that's not for you. That's
Why
not
am
for
I
you.
looking at you as just like, it just brings the entire outfit together. Honestly,
It's a big C's on there. That's why that bitch wanted that. That's why I wanted it. What the fuck?
I'm
But
looking
it's
at it
not-
like, you
It's
could
not
have.
for a nigga.
I don't know how much you spent on that outfit. It could have been $15. It could have been $500.
Yeah, we're not really in the competition. Well, let me not say that. I would say it's more both, but women could be just a little bit more harsher than a man could.
Well,
'Cause
because
But if
I
a man
think-
judge you, do it hurt more than when a woman do it? I don't know.
I feel like women are way more cutting. Like a woman to be out and just see another woman that they have no like interaction with or
And then
engagement
they
in,
dunk
just
on them.
about the whole
Mhm.
outfit. Like, look at what she got on. How did we get here?
Like, first things first.
I would never
No.
come out the house like that. All
I'm
right.
not. First
That-
things first.
That's cool.
This all seems
I
like
don't
a
know how
trap
it got here,
because,
though.
like, you can always bring this up, but if I randomly bring this up, this is probably a problem. So I'm just not going to engage inside of this conversation. This seems like a trap.
Oh, okay.
It's
No, I'm
like,
engaging. I'm just also
why do you,
confused.
I mean, I would more
Why-
so question, like, why do you care what she looks like?
No, you can't ask that
Why?
because now you're defending her.
I'm not caring. Oh no, I'm not defending her.
You can't-
I'm
no.
wondering why your insecurities are the way that they are to the point where you got to compare yourself to
can't
everyone.
take a stance that sounds like defense of the bitch that she's dunking on.
That's
That's
not
not what,
defending anyone. I'm bringing this on to around the corner to about you because this
why
is
he
who
not
this
listening
is.
to what I'm saying?
Y'all got a lot of rules. God damn. I fucking.
Oh yes.
I never want to date a
Men
bitch.
play
What?
Men gotta be out here hopscotching around and doing all types of wild
Jesus. You
stuff.
can't say that. You can't say this. What the fuck? What can you say? What can you say or do?
You can say a lot, do a lot.
You just can't be seen, I guess, having any type.
I mean, you can do what you want to do. I just recognize that if I
There's gonna
sound
be
like
some
I'm
negative.
defending her, your little feelings is gonna be hurt. And now we gotta have a different conversation. And that's dumb because I really don't give a fuck about this bitch or what you saying about this bitch. So I'ma just agree and keep it moving because none of that matters to me.
That means
And your feelings are sometimes fragile, and I don't see a point to.
At that point, I see something that needs fixed because it's just like your insecurities are probably kind of out of control that you need to
Facts. Like, God
compare yourself to
damn.
every single woman that walks out the damn door.
Even if she's not comparing, she's just talking shit.
I mean, the minute you say I would never walk out of the house like that, that is
No, not saying
literally
even if
compare-
she's not saying
that's
that.
either
She said-
holding yourself in some type of higher
But
position than
I'm
she
just saying
is.
it don't have to be that if women are critiquing each other. She's like, look at those.
What's your baseline when you're critiquing?
Oh, you asking me?
Like, period. Whenever you're doing a baseline critique, like what
You comparing it to something else. It's a
yes,
standard.
and who is like you're your normal standard or someone else inside of your life. Like, because if you out here walking around comparing everybody to Rihanna, probably you're all trash. So what are you gonna do?
I mean,
It's just like if you don't walk out of your house looking like Serena Williams, well, what are you doing?
yeah. That's how
Yeah.
women treat each other.
I don't know. I'm not saying I don't do that.
That's a.
But if you're hanging
basically
around me, you
unattainable.
better not come out the house looking any type of way. I will not stand for it. If you my man, if my daughter, if you my mom, I'm saying something. Don't come out the house looking
But-
any kind of way with me.
That
with
is you
me.
holding the people that are actually a part of your life somewhat accountable for not looking like hobos walking out the house.
Bruh, that
Holding
shit
other
bothers
people
me.
accountable for what they want to look like. Because as a person who existed on a college campus, one, not everybody got time to actually do all this shit every single day.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who spent time around women, dated women, so on and so forth, that like some wild, sometimes hour to 2 hour routine that you got to do in the morning?
I wouldn't even say that I had to take it that far. I just feel like, especially now that I got later in my life, I just want to show up to my life a certain way. And I don't want it to always be sweatpants and a fucking tank top, or, you know what I'm saying? Like this what I got on. This ain't really take that much effort. I like it because it say Nike on there. But I also like the shape of the shirt. And I really thought about putting it in there because that's how I wanted to show up today. If you don't show up to your fucking life, just wear it in your fucking thing. I mean, you don't really give a fuck about yourself. You just kind of moving on through.
Well, really,
it's not even about like trying to get anybody else to see you away. It's how do you want to show up to your, like, even like now, I try not to wear sweatpants in the house unless I'm going to work out. Now I've tried to get dresses because that's just how I want to show up every day.
Okay. That sounds insane to me. Sweatpants.
It don't happen. It's not like this perfect thing where every day is a dress day. No, some days I put on sweatpants. It's like, I don't really feel like wearing that. But I am very cognizant about how I'm walking around looking. Like, I just like, why would I just want to be in sweatpants all the time in a fucking tank top working? That shit don't even make me feel good. Make me feel like I ain't accomplished nothing. But that's personal to me.
I mean, I can see the thought of waking up and getting yourself, like, a lot of people like to start their day with a successful thing. Sometimes it's setting their bed. Sometimes it's waking up, getting dressed, and doing all the stuff that you need to do that. So that means you can wake up and you can always start your day with some type of success. I can get that. And if that's your successful thing, that's all more power to you.
Yeah.
But I'm more so saying, don't worry about what other people worry about. Just worry about your own self-image, and you'll probably be happy.
Yeah, no, I'm not telling nobody to do this for other people. It's just showing up for yourself. And you got to ask yourself, well, if I'm constantly wearing this, not majority of the time wearing this, but if I can just put a little bit more effort into this one, how would I show up for myself for the day instead of just being like putting yourself on the back burner, just showing up for yourself first? That's what that means to me. And I would hope somebody could get on that and just be like, well, damn, you know, this is how I want to feel today, or this matters to me today. But like I said, why do work got to come before that? Or how you approach your day? Because you can't even show up for your college students, even college students. Like, I don't want to leave nobody out of this. I don't want to leave nobody out.
College, some days you finish that paper last night and you rolling out of bed and you getting it moving today.
Yeah, but even then, like, just thinking about, I watch this girl, she a student, and she pick out her outfits, and she do like the monthly planner thing, and she picks out her outfits, and they got some thought to it.
Yeah. I mean, that is an outlier in terms of college. There are a lot.
I don't know. I guess in terms of being thoughtful in what you're wearing, and like, I do think that there's a certain importance to it. I think that, I don't know, like respectability politics, because like, I don't care if you're sagging or you are wearing whatever you feel like is your best, but I do think that you putting on something that makes you feel a little better than your normal regular clothes does have additive benefits. Like, if you feel better, you just operate in a better space mentally.
Oh yeah, I can understand like you putting on something that actually increase your confidence level and stuff like that. That's fine. But
I think that has to be something that's intentional.
These are a lot of I statements. And that's the way that you should probably move through life.
Oh, no, I don't think that that's an I statement. I think that it's a fact that if wearing certain things can make a person feel good. I don't think that's an I statement. I think that's like societal. So
I'm walking around dropping off packages and shit. I just don't want to look like every day is just a hard day. Like, I like to show up to my job and my daily activities. Like, I'm present. I'm here with this now. I put my best foot forward every day. Most days. Every day it's not like that. But most days, like, I just really want to put my best foot forward and, like, flex my shit and practice my style. Stuff like that. I don't know what the fuck. We was talking about black women and beauty standards.
Well, yeah, but we got onto this because I said that most people shouldn't necessarily be worried about judging other people, because that's what it kind of feels like a lot of women that I'm around just kind of do.
Yeah.
And then the more confident women that I'm around don't do that. And it's just like, Well, there's probably some type of correlation.
Who would you say are the more confident women you're around?
Mother, sister, cousins.
You think it has something to do with their age?
Everyone's older than I am, so possibly.
That's what I meant.
It's
Like,
just like I tend to skew about in terms of dating. I tend to skew my age or about younger.
yeah. So I was going to say, like, the people that you're around that
They're
you're looking at,
self-assured as of this point.
yeah, because they're older and have more life experience. I don't know if that's necessarily like a fair like measuring. Like these people who have all these experiences and have lived life and have gone through things, and then
I've also dated women who don't do that.
are they confident?
In ways, and in other ways, they're clusterfucks. I'm only not.
I guess that's what I meant because you said
In other ways, they're cluster. It's like we've already been through this.
Well,
I
that
only
was-
fix people. I only
With your stupid sane ass.
What?
I guess that was my point is that they don't have to
It's not a
necessarily
that
be
particular-
competent to not have like that one
Yeah.
character trait.
But it's like they have a certain degree of there's degrees of self-confidence, not self-confidence, have more to do with anxiety or depression or something like that. But they rarely outward, like when they're outwardly, they don't really, they're hard enough on themselves. That means they don't tend to be hard on other people because they understand life is hard sometimes. And
I'm
you only
trying to
have so
think
much
of when the
control.
last time I roasted a lady. We collectively as a family roast everybody, but it's usually if I talk about another woman, she doing something out of character. Like this old lady was wearing like a North Face in the middle of July. That was wild.
All right, that's outlier.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think. Like, do I just go to Walmart and be like, "What the fuck is you wearing?"
It's like in winter, I make
Until I
fun of
tell my brothers about it.
I make fun of dudes who wear like shorts and a hoodie because it's just like
Yeah,
it's basically like it's pretty much you are refuting reality. It's just like I'm not cold, dude. Your nose is running. I'm not cold.
yo, white people around 40 degrees, yo, they bring out that badminton.
It's just like I am an
They
Anglo-Saxon
be out
man.
there after with that
I
hoodie
am
and the short combo.
impervious.
You're like, damn,
It's
Chad,
like,
you
even-
can wait.
Even Vikings put a coat on. Put a goddamn coat on and put some pants on.
Yeah,
God.
let it be 45 degrees outside. They will go out there with that North
Like,
Face
why you out
and
here-
cargo
why you-
shorts.
Why are you shivering?
Yo, they fucking love it.
That is a fact.
It's like, why are you
I
shivering?
mean,
I'm not cold.
You be like,
my
it's
biggest
40.
issue is that they wear flip flops in the.
Too.
And then as soon as it
That's
gets 50,
always
don't
piece
they?
of resistance.
They put them bad boys on
Yeah,
so
why are your
smooth.
flip flops on? Why? You don't care about your feet. This why y'all skin do what it do because y'all don't take care of yourselves properly. Y'all just like, nah, fuck this weather. I'm wearing shorts.
Nigga, it's not.
Why?
It's still
But that's
cold.
pretty much the end of my judgmentalness when it comes to other people. But that's them
man.
refuting reality.
Well,
Just like, but looking at someone's overall outfit is like
I perpetuate
male
beauty standards. No, yes, but I also perpetuate beauty standards on black women. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
you got
I'm
an extreme
always-
toes thing.
yeah, I need your toes to be
Fetish.
done.
If you're gonna get your toes done,
Yeah, I'd prefer them to be.
it's like if your toes are done. Now you don't have to put polish or anything.
No. Let me be honest. If we're gonna go to gamut, shush, Charles. Let me tell you what I actually want in a woman. I need your toes done, manicured and polished. I need your nails done, preferably gel nails, so they're a little longer. I like that. They don't got to be like the crazy length that y'all are doing right now, but a little longer. Y'all can get all the types of shapes. I like coffins. I like stilettos. I like the cat claws. Yes, I do know all the names because, like I said, I perpetuate this
You
beauty
care about these
standard.
things. Obviously, if you care about these
I
things,
don't
you know
give
the
a
name.
fuck about lashes too much. They can come or they can go. I'm not really looking at your lashes like, damn, this some long ass, sexy ass lashes,
That
bitch.
doesn't.
Damn, girl.
Like that ain't really my thing. I'm gonna be real honest with you.
Mhm.
You out here looking like an owl.
I'm not the biggest fan of makeup, but if you're going to wear makeup, I prefer a more subtle, natural beat that you're gonna put on. Like,
Minimalistic.
yes, if you're going to go all the way out, you better know what you're doing, or I will make fun of you.
That's messed up. Going out to a date.
No,
No,
it's
you don't
not,
make it.
because if your fingernail polish is chipped, I'm going to make fun of you. If your toenail polish is chipped, I'm going to make fun of you. You walking around just chip fingernail polish, that shit could get in the food. You trying to poison yourself? Just gonna fleck off into all your food, just what you eating? That's what you doing?
No, motherfucker.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's like, see, that's the funny thing. It's just
I'm
like,
like Charles. I don't know, motherfucker. Why you so hostile immediately?
it's just like, why
Help me.
Yeah, but that's
it's just like, and those are all typically things I don't. Either I find you attractive, or
I do
not.
like long hair. It doesn't necessarily
fan
have
of
to
long
be
hair.
straight, but I do want you to have long hair.
I mean, my only thing is, if you do short hair, your facial structure has to support you doing short
No, I
hair.
don't want you to do short hair.
Because I've had women who did short hair.
I
and they
don't
look
want you
fine.
to do that.
But it's just like, if you don't have a facial structure for short hair,
No, I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to do that. And then
if you start breaking me on beauty, if you bring Tony in your relationship and you start asking her for beauty advice, it's going to be a very curated, limited amount of things.
it's not limited. Like there's lots of ways. Like body type, I'm not necessarily super limited. You can really come in varying shape, size. That's not a huge thing. Face though has to be cute. And like when I say cute, I mean like widely accepted as aesthetically pretty. Not like she's pretty to me.
So wait, do you have to? Is there sometimes an active vote? Is just like, hey guys, do you
That's
think
what
she's
I'm saying.
pretty?
I've
What was
brought
the
all my
gauge?
friends around a chick before to see what they thought about how she looked.
Everybody got it.
It's
But I
just like, and
genuinely
Tony
know.
wants honest opinions. So he's just like,
I did.
"Do she-
But I
do she look
genuinely
like
do
butt
know.
ugly?" Thank you for letting me know.
See, it's not even about the bitch. At the end of the day, it's about how you look to another nigga with your bitch on your arm.
No, not how I look with that. No.
Well, why you had to bring her around? The other niggas did.
I didn't
What was
bring
the
her around. I
point?
brought them up there to look at her.
So it's like
Which
an
I
Oh,
think.
yeah, totes.
like, make sure I'm not
It's totally
crazy,
different.
please.
Totally different what I said.
I just
Anywho.
wanted to know their opinion on her look.
Yeah, sure. Like you want them to say, "Oh, now with your car, right?" Like
Yeah.
she's an object. All right, cool. We got it.
Oh, no, Tony
we
is-
got it.
But the
I
thing
was
is, Tony definitely
definitely
stared directly into the
21
skin.
at the time, so sure, I was super toxic.
Nigga, you still do that shit today. Oh my
No.
god.
Not. Tony don't like enough
Nah.
people to have a gathering of friends to bring them up there to evaluate somebody.
But I'm definitely
What are you about to
picking
do?
a woman
So
that's
where he gonna
me?
take it to when he go out? When he go out, was his intention not gonna be like, "Yeah, I wonder how this bitch look to these niggas."
I already know because I generally do have a pretty good eye, but I'm like I said, I'm gonna date someone that if you look at her, you can be like, yeah, no, she's just aesthetically pleasing. But like I said, I do kind of perpetuate the superficial beauty standards that Black women follow. The straight hair, the nails, the getting their makeup done all the time, getting their hair done all the time. That whole gambit. I perpetuate it. So that's why I was kind of quiet and just letting everybody else talk because I know that I'm part of the problem.
It's like, I have the problem.
I recognize that I am the problem. I'm
But
not.
I'm also probably not changing at this point.
No, I
Well,
like it.
because I was like,
I
so,
like it.
This is where I exist. This is where I am.
Yeah, I like it.
Now I'm not gonna. She's not necessarily gonna outwardly force it on anybody, just randomly saying this is what you should look like.
No, I'm not going to date you.
But that's a whole nother thing. There's an active level of choice, and you're not gonna limit the people that you interact with based off of them not doing these things,
Oh no, we can be friends.
but not dating you. So I mean, that's a personal choice to do something that's incredibly personal. But like for me, a lot of those things I don't necessarily care about.
Like I don't care about your foot size or your hand size. Like none of that's going to make me not date you. Like I said, body shape isn't really going to make me not date you because we all come as we are, except for your face. That shit better be pretty as fuck. You got to be cute. I'm not saying no ugly chick. Like I've had conversations
Your face.
with my brothers and they talk about how they don't necessarily like dating cuter bitches. Excuse me, women. Because they're like, man, they a headache. They not just fucking with you. Everybody that said this has dealt with the woman or has a woman that is a past significant other that cheated on them. So if y'all dating bitches that y'all think are women that y'all think are less than attractive and they still cheated on y'all, why should I downgrade? What the fuck is where is the optimal point at in doing that?
I mean, you could just pick someone personality wise
oh my
that's not going
God.
to cheat on you. Like
Exactly. So-
every single woman I've talked to ever has basically looked at me and said, "No, you're not gonna cheat on anybody."
Damn.
But yeah, no. So it was more
I
like
don't know if that's an insult or not.
I don't either.
It's
You don't
just
look like a cheating type.
It's just like, oh, you're just not gonna cheat.
No, nobody wants you. Is
I mean,
that
for the most part,
saying?
well, no. If I'm just gonna leave somebody, I'm gonna break up with them, and I'm gonna go over with the other person probably. But that's
Mhm.
probably the least. Because one, I'm not trying to juggle cheating on anybody. That's too much effort.
Facts, B. I'm leaving. The fuck? I'll deal with the heartache and go fuck this nigga. What the fuck? I'm not dealing with heartache, lies, hiding. Get the fuck out of my face.
I mean, if I'm ready to go date somebody else already, it's
Yeah,
probably
it's
not gonna
already
be all that
done.
much
It's
heartache.
already a rip.
The heartache probably already happened.
It's already a wrap if I start cheating. Ugh.
Never gonna get to the point where I'm cheating. I'm just gonna dip.
You'd be like, this was fun. I gotta go.
Bye. Not that interest. I must not be that interested in so do you anyway. And I also like the idea of people more than oftentimes I like actually being with people.
oh, I do find no makeup, hair kind of messy, like messy little bun, no nails done, no like very natural nails manicured, toes manicured, but not like paint on them. And then you in like that tank top and like sweats look, and you doing that.
Come
Like-
around the house type thing.
Yeah, you do that for like 3 months. I would love that.
3 months.
You can do it for longer, but I mean, I don't want a short period of that. I don't want you just doing it for a day, like because that's not.
3 months.
Then I'm not going to get to enjoy
Really
all
good.
of it. So 3 months is like the minimum amount of time that I would like to enjoy this vibe. Because that's the vibe too, like that homely, like because like I'm not dating an ugly bitch, so she's still gonna be cute and attractive. I
She's
make
just
sure that you're cute and attractive without
Very
makeup on.
minimalistic.
Like I need to see you with no
Homely is
makeup.
a way of calling someone ugly.
No. Homely and I mean like in terms of the clothes they're wearing. Like they're gonna wear like sweats that kind of hang off of them, but sit up because they got a little bit of a booty. So it's yeah,
So
it's a whole
It's like
like
a sundress except for inside of sweatpants form.
it's like a whole vibe, and then they got a little tank top and probably not wearing no bra because they in the house. And it's just a nice. That's just a nice aesthetic look too. So like you don't got to be done up all the time. Like I am all about that as well.
Oh, I'm very.
It's like the college girl look,
Yeah,
I guess for you.
I mean, the stereotypical college girl look is shirt, leggings.
Well, see, this is sweats because like they're more like I don't really go out to the club all like that. I'm kicking it at the house. I'm gonna watch some Netflix, but I want to be comfortable. I throw these sweats on. I'm gonna throw this tank top on. I don't need no bra because I'm at home, chilling like a black woman in her natural habitat. That's sexy. I like that too.
Again.
Oh, yeah, out here going through it too. This is the
Oh my God, that's not what I was saying.
No.
Why is habitat not an inappropriate word?
Natural habitat.
Habitat just means the environment that you live.
naturally exist?
Yeah.
See,
What's wrong with that?
there's nothing wrong with it, Tony.
Oh my God.
Continue with your life. If this is working for you,
Oh my God. I don't understand.
I want you to continue.
No, I want to know why habitat is not a correct
We're
statement.
not animals.
Oh well, it's
We're not animals. We're not shiny objects as show to your friends. We are people.
I don't do
We
the
are
first
a
thing
person.
anymore. I said that was when I was
We are
21.
people. We have
And I-
feelings that you don't like.
I
but
acknowledge that
have
feelings are fine. I don't have
I
an
mean,
issue
the
with
only
them.
thing that dudes don't
It
like
was when
about
I was
women's feelings is
21 that I had
sometimes
it-
much, but
I had to get other people's opinion. I was like, man, what y'all think? And then it was good. And realistically, it was less of a what y'all thinking. Like, look what I got.
How many likes this bitch gonna get?
Yeah.
How much she gonna choose an Instagram picture? How many likes you think this bitch gonna get?
Instagram
a hot
didn't
five
even exist.
on a Saturday at 3.
It was like
You
I was taking.
fucking
It was
weird.
like I was taking my niggas to an Instagram post to see if all of them was gonna hit the like button, and they
but
did.
y'all aren't allowed to hit the like button.
Yeah, you allowed to like her from a
I wish I
distance.
had Ray J's glasses. I'm down.
Oh what?
I'm
All
down
I know
your ass.
Is that was when I was 21. I acknowledged that was toxic behavior.
Very weird.
And it's-
Prob-
No,
I probably
toxic.
know
He said
exactly
it
when
himself.
happened
It's
at.
terrible.
It's terrible. Why am I showing her off like she's a trophy? I wasn't even dating her at that point. I just knew it was gonna happen.
I probably even knew. I might have.
Perrine was there. Chris was there. You might have been there.
It was at the hookah bar.
No, it was
Was
at
it?
Menchie's.
Oh, yeah. It's just like
Well, your daily dose of toxicity from Tony, y'all.
I told you,
Daily
Tony has
dose,
terrible future
Daily
vibes.
dose. You know what you did last week though was so toxic.
Future is his future.
Listen to this. This nigga was like, "Oh, I'm going to apologize." He didn't say he was going to apologize. He said, "I'm sorry for how you feel. I didn't intend to hurt you, but I'm not sorry for my actions." Nigga, how is that an apology? That's
I
not.
wouldn't say the second part.
That's not an apology.
I'm not
Don't
gonna-
apologize.
I'm not going to say the second part.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry for
God.
making
Don't
you
say
feel
that way.
anything. No, I'm sorry, but remorse comes with I'm really sorry and change behavior. This nigga was like, "Oh, I'm not changing.
Oh no.
I'm sorry you was in my way for real."
No, it's not that it's not changed behavior. It's
Ultimately, I can do nothing about the way
because
that you
what I'm sorry for
feel. Making-
is the way that I handled the situation. So maybe I need to be more clear in what I'm going to be doing or in my actions or something like that, because clearly that's what I'm viewing as what caused the
Turmoil.
issue, your turmoil. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do what I was doing. I'm saying because I intended to do what I was doing. So me
Mhm.
apologizing for doing something that I intended to do sounds disingenuous to me. What I didn't intend to do was hurt your feelings. So if I didn't communicate effectively that I was about to go over here and be gone for 3 hours, I do apologize because I didn't communicate effectively. That's not what I intended to do. But I don't apologize for going over there for 3 hours. Like, I'm going to be over there for 3 hours.
But you also said, "I'm doing it. I've done it." And you're also implying that you're going to do it again.
I'm implying that I'm going to go over there for 3 hours again, but maybe
I'm going to tell you about it. But how you feel about it afterwards is just definitely not up to me. Nigga, what?
I mean,
Well,
he's
I would
also
hope
assuming the fact that the
that-
problem wasn't the fact that he went over there. The problem was the communication.
Yeah,
that
that's
he
what
went
I'm. So my first thought would be maybe the way that I communicated to you
Mm-hmm.
is the issue. So let me try and communicate more effectively, because I don't. Yeah, I think that would probably be my first thought. All right, I didn't communicate this effectively. She's upset because she's not comfortable in what I'm doing because I didn't communicate effectively. Let me communicate to her better. Now, if you still mad about what I'm doing after I've communicated to you, I need to understand why you mad. Now, if you have a valid reason, maybe
Oh,
I'll stop doing
you're
what
the
I'm
person
doing.
who looked at me and no, see, that's
Or
the problem.
maybe I won't.
We're talking about
and
feelings here, Tony.
ask you
and you're
to,
the person who always tells me feelings don't make sense
They
all the
don't.
time.
They don't.
So therefore, you're saying they're feeling upset. You're looking at me and saying you got to have a logical reason. Nope, you can't explain the way they
No,
feel.
I
You can't
don't
expect
need
that.
them. No, no. So I'm not
Just like-
asking them to have a logical reason.
Is
I'm
it-
asking them to provide me a reason. It can't just because I want you to. Why? Because if their feelings are involved, because it makes me feel this. Express to me what it makes you feel. Go through that. Tell me how you feel, and what this me doing this. What does that make you feel? What does that cause for you?
Now,
So
the
now
only-
I can understand. And so now if I choose to do that again, then yes, I'm choosing to cause you turmoil. But if you say, no, I just don't want you to do that, that just sounds like you just want to control my movements. And I might not follow that. But if you say, hey, this makes me feel uncomfortable because X, Y, and Z, either I can try and alleviate that and go that way. But if you don't tell me how you feel, no. So you have to not be logical, but express to me how you feel about the situation. It can't just be, I'm mad. Cool. But why? Why are you upset?
I mean, the only thing that I'm wildly against is this entire situation because it's just like, what'd you do? I left for 3 hours and then I came back.
I mean, that was just
what's the
that
problem?
was, I mean, that's just the example. But maybe the problem is in those 3 hours, she was trying to get in contact with you and you weren't available. And she didn't know where you were at. And so why'd you disappear for 3 hours?
But it just, oh, I went somewhere where I couldn't get phone signal. It happens.
Okay, but I don't necessarily think that's the approach that you should take with her. Like, maybe you didn't communicate effectively that you'd be going somewhere and be gone for 3 hours. Maybe you forgot to tell her. So I'm just saying, hey, what about this situation made you uncomfortable? You didn't say anything to me. I don't like when you just disappear. I don't feel comfortable with the people that you're around. But there has to be a conversation about you feeling something and why. So yeah, no, not super toxic, but I was definitely toxic back then.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that wasn't me trying to be toxic, and that is just if I want to do something, I'm going to do it 9 times out of 10. But I also recognize that you as a person have the agency to leave. I don't think that you should stay when I'm doing things that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely leave. Like, or I should leave if you're doing things that I don't like. Or we should have a conversation and see if we can meet in the middle. But that's
come back
generally
after
rare.
An hour and a half.
Because most people like to do what they want to do and will agree to meet in the middle and then keep doing what they want to do and hope that the conversation replaces the actions. And so it's like, well, we just keep having the same conversation. So
Kicking the can down the road. Oh, but I guess but in terms of beauty standards,
They impossible to fucking live up to because a lot of niggas don't have either that body shape. Usually it's like an hourglass figure, which I'm not gonna say I have, but my waist is smaller. You can really tell with my large belly, but it's definitely a little smaller in the middle. But everybody don't have that shape. It's not like, don't nobody every day ain't got my shape. And you have to like usually enhance yourself to make yourself look like one of these Instagram bitches that enhance themselves maybe 50-50, you know, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but it's getting a little impossible now to just even want to keep up with that.
you know how you
Right.
can tell if they change their body. You'll see a post from like, just for like timeline reference, 2019 September, and then a new one in 2020 because they got to go through a healing process. So they're not gonna post none of that in between part. They're just gonna pop out bad, or it'd be like post number 1, 2021 June. You didn't just create an IG looking like that today.
yeah, I did.
You fucking lied. All right, you deleted all your old pictures.
I did make an IG of me looking like that today.
You're right. You know what? You're right.
It's just
But
like
that is
based
not your
on your own
origin-
vernacular.
That
Did
is-
I always look like this? That's not your problem.
Yeah, but I know you didn't, so it's fine. So yeah, that's generally how you can tell. Like when they have like a whitewash thing, and it's like, so you just popped up,
Yeah.
but you got all these followers.
Where are these standards coming from? Now you got to think about that. Like, I can never say that black men didn't appreciate a thicker lady. That's never been an issue for niggas. I've never seen a nigga be like, damn. Not saying that he don't, but never just been like, yeah, she's so skinny, man. I've never seen that person. I'm not saying it's not out there. I ain't never seen a nigga just be like, she's so skinny, nigga. What? Look at her. She just
I think I literally just said
Like skinny in an amazing way.
like skinny in an amazing way. Like nigga, yeah, that's it. That's
Look
that.
how- yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I ain't never seen that.
Maria
And
Sharapova
so that's what she was
type
saying. She
thing.
said that all black men generally like
Curvier
voluptuous
female.
woman.
Yeah.
That's the way women are shaped. Unless
Not
they're
all of them. I mean, a lot of. I'm
not.
I mean,
He's just as toxic as me. You have to
I'm very
acknowledge this.
binary.
Okay.
I'm not
at least
toxically feel.
At least I'm honest with mine. I own my toxic. This nigga over here just
he do be
spewing it
pretending
out.
like, what's wrong with that?
Like what he just said was hella toxic and just was like,
I don't
I mean, they're shaped
understand.
like, I mean, that's how women are
he
shaped.
said
Unless
either
they're
they're
not.
shaped like that or they're not. What?
I mean, that's
You
true.
and
It's a
all
very
shapes and
binary thing.
sizes.
I mean, yeah, you can say it's binary, but it's also toxic.
I mean,
Sometimes being binary is toxic, Charles, because women come in
Facts.
very different shapes and sizes.
Very
they
different.
do.
So it's not that they're just that or they're not.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so it's
also
like-
that is also true. I mean, you're either shaped that way. That's either a yes or a no thing. It's like, are you shaped that way? Yes. Are you shaped that way? No.
It's true, but it's
It's just like-
toxic. Is all I'm
It's
saying.
like
It's the
I
way.
dated women who are all different shapes and sizes. I have my own, but my general thing is I don't disqualify anyone necessarily because they don't meet all of my criteria. Whereas that's less of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, because
Because
when
my
I look
primary
at,
criteria is that you be smart.
when I look at men, I'm not necessarily looking for you
Why
to
do you
be
look at-
fucking handsome.
Well, yeah, no, you have to be smart, but I'm not gonna know that by looking at you.
Yeah, when you first look at somebody, you don't be like, damn, how smart is this bitch? You usually trying
Yeah,
to.
so since-
Oh no, I generally try and have conversation with them, and then
Yeah, but
that's
during
not what
that
attracts you
conversation,
over
but
there
that's
to
not what
them.
brought you to them.
Yeah.
The look
You
of them
found out
brought you, and then you
afterwards.
it's
spoke to
just
them.
like I look
and
at them.
either-
It's just like, could I date them? Yeah, I can date him. Start
Why
talking
is
to
he
him.
capping? Like, he don't be looking at like, yeah, nigga, I'll motorboat the fuck out that bitch. Like, come on.
That's not necessarily a thing. Also, I'm
But
not a
what
boob
brought
guy,
you
really. I
over
like
there? It wasn't because
that.
she was so
Probably the way that they
smart.
look or the way that they're dressed, or sometimes it is the like I have.
Oh, look at
I
that
have-
bookworm over there. Fuck
Well, no, I
yeah.
have cued in on someone because of the way that they actually handled and did stuff. In
But
class
you
and
knew
stuff
her.
before.
You had prior
that
experience,
was
like you
the
got to see her
after.
doing
Yeah,
that.
we're in class.
It's okay to be super. We all superficial. We
I mean, at
have to
some
be.
level, I'm not gonna lie. At some fundamental level, yes, I am superficial.
So
Like,
yeah, that's
I
what
do
got
like
you over
long
to that
hair unless
bitch.
you have very specific straight facial structure.
Titties, ass, whatever the fuck it is, legs, thighs, whatever got you over there to her, and then you found out, oh, she has a brain. You're like she or not.
Yeah,
she
so for
can have
me-
conversation.
But the thing, my primary
It's not as
difference
extreme
is
as him.
I will walk away if you don't have a brain. It's just like
yeah, it's not as
this
extreme as
is
him. Where I
not
think he
worth
might
the
put.
level
I don't
of
know if
co-
he put that on the back burner, but I'm not gonna
What?
speak to that. But
what?
No.
I was saying if he
The
put intelligence,
isn't on the back burner per se.
yeah, but it's not a priority for you. Is it?
It's number 2 after your looks because I'm obviously just going to see you first.
Okay.
So if you don't meet my beauty standard, then I'm not approaching you. But after we get there, then I want to know that either A, you have some level of intelligence, or B, you have some level of curiosity.
hmm
I'll take one or the other. Because intelligence is cool, but sometimes that shit is just as worthless as a dumb chick. If you got some curiosity, you're probably interested in learning and recognizing, hey, I don't have all the things I want to know, and I want to learn some new shit.
hmm
And I'm comfortable in dealing with that as well. Because I recognize that your personality might be A1 and we might be a match in that regard, but you don't always
Intelligence
meet
is technically
people.
a part of personality.
No, it's not. And so you might not always meet people that have had the same opportunities as you. So I don't necessarily judge everybody on being in the same place or having the same like acumen as I do. But if you have like a willingness to like kind of try and gain some of that, then yeah, I'm game to fuck with you because realistically you're going to need some of that to like have conversation with me.
Yeah.
And things like that, and for us to really like be expressive to each other. So if you're willing to engage and gain those things, then I'm all for that. And so you don't have to already be at that level.
Oh,
But
I guess I'm using the wrong word. I need them to be smart.
no, you don't
intelligent-
have to be smart.
I do need some level of like you being able to gain and process information inside of a somewhat
I mean, I guess
legitimate manner.
that's not
I'm
smart.
not saying
That's you have the ability to learn. What you said is you want someone to have the ability to learn. I need you to
yes,
be able
and
to
not
gain and
everybody
process.
can learn.
But that's not being smart. It's just, yeah, you're true. Everybody can learn. So, but that's why I say curious. Like people who aren't
But
curious
I mean,
don't want to learn. Curious leads to you being interested in learning about something. If you
It's
have
like
no
I'm
nat-
looking for the right word for what I want because it's just like it's not quite. You have to have all the information inside of the world because that's quintessentially impossible. There's going to be some amount of ignorance.
I think that you
I
want a
just need
woman
you
that's
not-
book smart though.
Yeah, that's what it
To a
sounded like to
degree.
me.
Yeah, for you, I'm not saying that you shouldn't or you should align yourself with me. I think that for you, you want someone that you can instantly sit down with and y'all can have a certain level of high value conversation.
I guess it's important for you to have, for her to have like a degree and shit like that.
Not necessarily, because a degree does not necessarily mean that you paid attention during the entire time to get that degree. That doesn't mean you did the work long enough to the point where you made it through that class, and then you can void all that information after that. Just like I did for anything that wasn't for computer science for me. I don't remember majority of my basic studies that I didn't care about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there are some things that just stuck inside of in terms of my basic studies from like because I just retain information differently than most people.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the way I function. I also understand that it's just like I just want you to I want you to be respectful in whatever or like legit like knowledgeable in whatever field that you're choosing to operate in.
Yeah, so like I said, you want a woman that has a certain level of book intelligence and just life intelligence where they can sit down and start having a conversation with you. And it doesn't feel like, oh, I have to explain things.
Yeah.
Because explaining things to people who aren't interested in learning is hard and a fucking frivolous pursuit. It's like talking to a wall. It's like, I'll say
Yeah,
some
you
shit.
have intelligent people that's like that just don't want to learn. Like, you don't know everything.
Yeah, it's like, all right,
That certain level of
you.
openness is super important.
Yeah, and so that's why I like that curiosity. Because if I say something to you, like I met a woman like that. She was very learned, really into school, like had her whole like career and shit like that planned out. But anything that wasn't what she was interested in or that information, she would like stonewall it. Like you couldn't communicate with her. There was no level of curiosity or interest in anything else. So it's like, all right, we're talking about me, or we're talking about us and how I feel about us and how I feel about you. And then we're talking about me and my career. And then I might bring up something about things that I'm working on, and she might acknowledge what I said and then go back to talking about her.
Well, at that point,
But
you're not really
everything that she was talking about, because when she would talk about her, I would engage and then ask the questions and things like that, because I can have a conversation about anything. So she's in the medical field. She's going to be a doctor. So cool. Let's have these conversations. So that's what we did. I have lots of doctor friends, ma'am. We can do this. And so that's what we did. But it was also let me know that me and you aren't compatible because you don't have a level of openness that allows you to gain new information that you haven't already chosen is correct for you.
And you're pretty much anything outside of this field that you don't really care about, which is, I also think is fundamentally flawed because you can never be a world balanced person like that. You can never.
She cared about, so the thing she cared about is her medical field and Black societal issues.
Yes.
That was when I would like went to that protest and like laid in the grass and all that dumb shit.
When they get Tony laying in grass is such a fucking funny
I mean,
image.
he would have probably just been laying somewhere else at that point now. So why not just go lay in the grass?
That was some dumb shit. I was like, so this is what we doing? Like, that's when I recognized that the way that
the entire protest game right now is basically useless.
Yeah, that's when I was
just like,
that's when Tony was
what
like,
is this doing?
all right, so
This thing laying there, it's so
nothing.
fucking funny to me. I can just see him
Bruh, 'cause
fidgeting.
it was like for 12 seconds. Who was choked out for like 12 minutes or something like that, or 13 minutes?
George Floyd, Eric Garner, a lot of
It
people have been choked to death.
It was way before him. It was like maybe Eric
New
Garner.
York?
Maybe Eric Garner.
Yeah, but at the end of it,
But
it's
all
kind
I
of
know
sad
is
that we have like a running list of people who've
yeah.
been choked
All I
to
know
death.
is we
But-
just laid there for like 13 seconds to like represent, and it was just like all over the field, and they were marching with signs, and I was like, all right.
I mean, marching.
So no.
Where were
No,
you?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care where you
on
march.
the ground.
Y'all niggas are dumb. Don't make me do this to the protesters because I be trying to keep my mouth shut.
Oh my
But
god.
I'll just drive by the block real quick if I need to, because these niggas don't get anything accomplished because they're disorganized. They rally together and march, which is cool. And then they get mad at the people that are rioting. And then all the protesters that have this, oh, let's not break anything, get mad at the rioters. So then they don't want to protest anymore. So then they want to go back in the house. But realistically, the only time that people actually start having conversations is when we start breaking shit. You want to know why? Because the next step to breaking shit is killing people. You know what happens after you start killing people? Things change. We don't ever want to get to that point because loss of life is such an abhorrent thing, and every life is so precious that we can't lose any. Because if we were losing any lives, then that would be a tragedy. Oh, wait, we're getting killed every day. But anyway, so they don't want to take it to any limit that any of the generations before us that were willing to take it to that actually accomplished anything. They want to lip service us to death and leverage political means, which is the same things that they did back in the day. But also while doing that, they also utilize tactics of, we gonna give as good as we got. And you're going to start to see that, hey, you can't have all of this chaos everywhere and violence. But we don't want chaos and violence because we're comfortable. And we're never too uncomfortable because we don't ever think that it's going to be us. Sure, we get scared when the cops pull us over, but it's not going to be me. I ain't doing none of the things he was doing. I ain't going to be resisting arrest. People are real comfortable because racism is commonplace and undercover. So people have accepted that, oh, this is the status quo. So the protesters don't do shit. So they can go suck a whole dick. All the movement groups can suck a whole dick. But anyway, you need a break, Ash? Because you seem like you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
No, I was just checking.
Well, that was an interesting diversion from Black beauty standards.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I was just gonna spray up the block because it just don't make no sense. Y'all not doing anything that is gonna
taking a nap. I gotta do the most ass nigga laying down. It's the funniest shit in the world to imagine.
Yeah, like
I
that
stand up
shit.
and be like, damn.
Like that shit was so stupid. Like I was laying here like, why are we doing this dumbass shit?
I can't. Oh my
like
god,
this is the dumbest shit I've
I would have
ever
paid
done.
to see that shit. Let's see Tony lay down for 13 seconds.
Yeah, in the middle of a fucking grass on my fucking school campus.
My problem is, my main issue with that is, one, the amount of planning that they probably went through in order to lay down for that 13 seconds is probably way more than
they had to get approval from the school to do the march, and then they marched around like
they could have did anything else.
Special loop of the school.
Lord have mercy.
No justice.
Yeah, right.
They could have started like an after school programs for young boys.
School, college, and by the community. So it was.
Damn, what this?
It was just yelling.
It never really had to happen at my school. You never officially had to get any kind of word because it was technically a public place. That means in public place you're allowed to do these things.
Yeah, so no, they laid down on the ground for 13 seconds.
Laying down on the ground for 13 seconds thing. Well, I just walked around those people.
All of it was dumb. Why are you here?
Like
everybody says that we're raising awareness. All right, bet. So 100% of us are raising awareness. Then 100% of the movement is just about knowing that there's bad shit happening.
Exactly.
Cool.
That shit is so weird.
You're
Raising awareness.
You're right.
You want people to know. That's the end of your battle.
You're right.
Somebody know.
You're right.
As long as you know about this.
Cool.
Bobby.
Oh,
thank you.
Some people believe that.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You told me. Thank you. That was
so that's the funny thing. They're not trying to tell you. They're trying to tell everyone else.
Yeah,
that's it.
Let them know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for telling them.
That's so weird to tell your oppressor. Hey, you know you're oppressing me, right?
What we're all going to do, you know what our new protest plan is?
I do.
Awareness. We want everyone to know.
It's so weird.
I mean, that's kind of, I don't know how we got on this, but that's kind of the reason why the Black Lives Matter thing fundamentally failed, because they got to the point where they got to politicians and they asked for them, like, what types of policies do you guys want to be passed? That means you can actually, so it means we can change these things. And then they said they want us to like them. And it's just like, well,
that's so
can't
strange.
do anything with that.
You ask your oppressor to like you?
Well, no.
You think this nigga is oppressing you and automatically one day he's just be like, oh,
well, no, it was just
it
led to a very vexed Hillary Clinton. It's just weird. Like, I need policies that I can pass that will tangibly help you.
That shit was never about black people.
Because fundamentally,
ever.
I can't make people like you.
Is that all it is? It's a fucking
level,
like me.
I think at some fundamental level, every single black person needs to expect that there are going to be people who just don't like you based on your race.
Exactly. Like, why are we so fixated on that? Why do you want somebody to like you? Get the fuck out of my face. You childish. I don't want nobody on my team that's considered like, I just wish white people would fucking like me. Oh.
I don't necessarily need that. It's just like, I need policies that help bridge the gap between... that help like get rid of some of the larger disadvantages that I've been like given throughout my life because I was born in a less privileged position. And I'm inside of a fairly privileged position.
I was about to say, Charles, you're super privileged. No, you're
Facts.
privileged in comparative to some whites as well. Your dad owns his own business that clears about $100,000 a year.
Do you see how you're not proud of that? Because he just wanted like be the black thing is just holding me down. I mean, get the fuck out of my face.
It's not necessarily holding anybody. It's not necessarily holding anybody back or anything like that. But it's also one of those things. It's also fact in the matter that my father is less likely to get if he were to need a loan for his business to grow it, he would be less likely to get it because he's black.
And tell him he can sue them if he can give up some evidence.
That's very true.
But it's also true that it makes it about $100,000 a year.
All I'm saying is you have been inside of a situation that is...
it hasn't always been like this.
Definitely more beneficial than
the average person. Yes. Within my household, probably between my parents, there was a point in time where there was upwards of $200,000 a month, $200,000 a year coming into my household.
I was going to say $200,000 a month.
Like, Charles, you have been lying to be terrible.
Nah, nigga, I'm about to fight you. We about to pause this show. and I'm gonna fight you, and then we're gonna continue the show because bitch, you better do this now. If you wasted the resources that $200,000 a month brings you,
It's just
I'm
like-
beating your ass because we've been friends for a long time, my nigga. We've had business ideas, my nigga, and this is like I would beat the fuck out of
He
you.
would take it off right
Yeah,
now.
like I
dog, we
would
gotta
beat
go
the fuck out of you. Like,
outside.
what are you doing?
It's just like, wait.
So you don't
had
care
all
about
the funding?
none of your friends. All the ideas that you said you wanted to be a part of, you was just bullshitting. So you a liar. You a lying ass nigga. You don't really want to be a part of shit. You just like to talk about it and be around and have a good time with your friends. I'm gonna beat your ass. You know, we gonna fight. We gonna fight. And I'm gonna hit you with something because you bigger than me and you know karate.
It's just like, where'd you get the bike stand from,
Yeah.
Tony?
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna show you how Mikey can throw a bike. Me too. Watch this. Yeah, no, don't do that. Nigga, fucking $200,000 a month. I would
I
fight
probably
you.
wouldn't be here if I had $200,000 a month. I'm gonna be
Nigga, I
100%.
better not be here either. Fuck you talking about? I've known you since high school.
It wasn't even during my high school years. Like my mother was in college during then, and so on and so forth. It's like clearly post high school.
But that's what. So what I'm saying is, if I've known you since high school
yeah,
and post high school, there is 200 influx in all the resources. I would look at my friend like, why aren't we making something happen when we've like been talking about this with the friend
Bro,
group
you know how easy
forever?
would you just be like, hey, can I get $10,000?
Yeah, nigga, they're gonna give you that and not even think about it.
Yeah. He's like, all right,
my
here you go.
parents. Oh, see, that's the entire thing. My father could swim through the entire Atlantic with a handful of sand and it could come out the other side not wet.
Nigga, what?
He's saying
That's
his
how
father
cheeky.
is a miser.
That was some old 1960s
It was,
shit.
it was.
That was,
It's just
that was
like-
like that 1960s fucking MLK said that shit in one of his
It's
speeches.
just
Charles.
like
That's
that's, how
what that
tight
sounded
his
like.
hand is on
That sounded like
money.
it came from Selma, Alabama. Where'd you get that from?
It did come from Georgia. But anyway, you have to understand.
What?
My grandmother's from Alabama from my dad's side, and my mother's father is from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, I do have a lot more Southern nature in me. than
Yeah, I
people
can
actually-
tell.
Oh, don't forget that he lived in the Carolinas for a while.
I
Yeah.
lived there for a year, but that place is absolutely terrible.
As a kid, that was so crazy. They just shipped this nigga off.
Oh.
Oh, my mother didn't feel like I was moving inside the direction that I needed to be gone. So that means next thing you know, I was gone. It's just like graduated. Well, so where's like we were playing World of Warcraft. They asked a question. So Charles, where are you at? I'm in North Carolina. When the fuck did that happen?
Oh.
Yeah.
I just got shipped out.
Yeah.
Like I was shipped
He was
off
like,
to the
bye.
military
Yeah, they just sent him to North Carolina.
to figure stuff out because I wasn't.
Did you
So-
figure stuff out?
Yeah, relatively.
Did you
What the
think?
fuck,
Did you
nigga?
did you not have things figured out before?
Not as far as my mother was concerned.
No, as far as you were concerned, my nigga. Stop telling me.
I was 18 years old. I didn't know what figured out really was.
All right, so what I'm saying
okay. You
is,
didn't say how old you was. I thought it was like 17.
But what I'm saying at 18, when you left,
I didn't have it figured out when I came back either. To tell you
so
the truth.
and that's what I'm saying. So why did
I left
she? She
you-
was just like, get out. You got to go. Not get out,
You
but
was just
we
like,
send you
bye?
here.
It
you
was-
came back?
That was like I said. That was the craziest shit. They just sent Charles away. We were like,
Where's
"Man,
Charles at?
why is Charles in North? Yeah, he's in North Carolina now. Why?
It's probably Miles who told you to. Because
Oh.
during on World of Warcraft stuff.
Why? Yeah, I don't know. His parents sent him out
No, it was
there.
my mother.
Well, they just said parents because I mean
I say parents because it's one from parenting unit, but my
Yeah.
mother just had this,
Yeah,
it's
daddy
like,
gotta
had
come
this
too.
brilliant
So
idea.
let me be specific. It was her.
And I came back and it's just like I had lost a bunch of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I also was like, I have figured out one, I never want to be around my sister for that prolonged amount of time ever again in my life.
So that's what he figured out in his year.
And two, you
How
know what else I
useful.
figured out?
Mhm.
Working minimum wage is never gonna be the move.
Like I said, I'm not a slave, and I don't really fuck with my sister that much.
Like, what
Yeah,
is
those are the two things that he noticed.
Yeah.
Love my sister to death, but
I
we
don't like you.
cannot
Yeah.
actually cohabitate without a mediator.
This nigga said without a mediator. We
Well,
can't even have a family
without a
member.
ref,
we need
nigga.
someone that is not
I mean, the
connected
ref
to
can be
You
my
need a
either one of us.
referee.
My sister cannot be the person with the primary amount of power because my sister is a lot like my mother, except for she's not actually my mother. So
she does a lot of trying to tell you what to do and control your life.
Like, well, you need to do such and 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 such. It's just like I'm not even gonna say my overall critiques because it's just like,
leave me alone.
That's quintessentially what it is. Like, well, you chose to be here. No,
that's not what happened.
It's like, I didn't choose to be here. I don't want to be here. You chose this. Y'all chose this free, like separate. Well, you were supposed to do all this stuff. I never agreed to this.
What were you supposed to do?
I was supposed to go there. I did go there. I didn't have my license when I got there. I was apparently supposed to have that already. A whole bunch of other stuff. She was going to buy me a car and all this other things. It's just like, I love my sister to death and she's willing to do for me. And she did for me a lot as I was a child when our lives was like very, very.
But I guess my question is, why did you have to have your license?
Because she was going to buy me a car. So it means I can move around because it's North Carolina. You cannot get any. They don't have sidewalks.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is,
it's such a wild
no
thing.
one told you that you was getting shipped off to North Carolina.
My mother kept kind of threatening me with it, but it didn't make any sense. And it's just like, what are you going to do? I'm going to probably go to college? Like, I'm not 100%. Well, you're going to end up taking a gap year anyway. Like, I don't know. Maybe. Well, you're not going to end up to a certain degree, it did bring me back here and I was ready to do, for the most part, it kind of figured out what I wanted to do like at that point, I wanted to be a graphic artist. I came back. I did some amount of graphic art. Figured out I didn't want it, and then that's when I put.
But I feel like
I would have figured that out anyway.
Was at some point dabbling in graphic arts before you left.
Yes, I was,
and would have figured that out and had it work.
Probably a whole year earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
I quintessentially went down there, worked fast food, which is like one of the worst times I've ever had.
I'm so confused.
No one has gotten closer to why this nigga was in New York. He keeps trying to get you there.
My mother keeps saying it focused me, and I don't believe it did. The only thing it allowed me to know is
so I don't know, man. Maybe
it changed the way I conceptualized dealing with my sister.
I don't like this.
Okay, now you can press pause. Now I need to stand up. Thanks, guys. Breaky time.
Hey. And we're here today.
Hey. It's magic.
Face.
You know.
Oh, look at y'all vibing. Oh, my God. How's it feel, Tony?
I'm done with this.
Huh?
I'm done with this.
No, how's it feel?
Ask what songs you been playing on the guitar.
How's it feel? I started playing, like, all the shit I learned when I was, like, a kid. Like, Pink Floyd. Pigs on the Wing, Black Sabbath, Planet Caravan. What else? Just most like finger fretting, stuff like that.
Oh.
What else do I know how to do? Yeah, mostly like finger picking and stuff like that.
It's real weird for me because the where I want to be and where I am in terms of playing guitar are two very different places.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's either what I want to play is like all the way down here or all the way up there, and there's not too much in between.
Bruh,
so it's just like
so frustrating because I be wanting to sing and do all these things, but I can't do any of those things. Like I can't play like SZA Babylon. I wish I could play that shit on electric guitar so bad and sing it, but I don't know how to play.
It's like, what do I want to be? Like, I want to be able to play Crosstown Traffic, but I am nowhere near being able to play Crosstown Traffic.
Oh my God, exactly. It's like I want to do all these things. That's why I'm like, well, it's just a hobby. I'll get there when I get there. But also, that'd be the whole frustrating part about being a creative person. You got so many ways to get whatever this is out. You be like, if I could just sing this song or write this book or just, it's so incredibly annoying to have all this in you, and then you got to figure out how to get it out. And
how
then
you got to get all that ambition out of you.
And that's just like, that's where ambition comes into play. And today we're going to talk about the curse of being ambitious. What? You all right? Didn't look like it.
I think Tony's just proud.
He proud. He's proud of that shit. Don't nobody know his struggle, do you? Nobody knows what you go through. Well, let's talk about it, Tony. Take it away. What do you think the curses of being ambitious are? The detriments to seeing your life?
probably lack of cohesion with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna just say most women that I deal with are used to a man working like a traditional work schedule and things like that. And so for me, just getting I try to get my 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But that
Not
might
gonna be
not
linear.
be the same way that you get your 40 hours. It's going to be at my timeline. Like I might work from 9 to noon. And then I might take a break and watch me some anime, or
It's really ain't a break.
that's not a real break, but it's like I'll stop writing and then I'll do something different. But then I'll come back to doing this from like 2 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've gotten 7 hours of this one thing today. And then I might work on it again at 11 because now I'm inspired again and I feel like writing before I go to sleep. But you can't really like articulate that to your partner in a succinct way where they're like, all right, well, you were working. I'm done working for today. So I want your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, that's cool, but I'm kind of like on maybe a mini pause for today. And I'm going to get back to work. And so you can't really have my attention. Like me breaking and going to hang out with you is going to like hamper and ruin the rest of like me being productive for today. So I think that's one of the things that is like a curse of like ambition and being productive. And we're not even being productive, but just ambition and like having drive towards your own like focus and goals and being like an entrepreneur.
You gotta have your own setup, because if you go like I was gonna suggest, well, you should get like an iPad, get like a keyboard for your iPad, but it's like it's never really gonna be the same.
No, I don't like type, and so I don't like typing on my iPad. Like I like to write notes on my phone. Like I do a lot of like note taking in my phone, and so I can be anywhere with that. But when I actually get into writing, I do like to sit down at my
You have
computer.
a physical keyboard.
Yeah, physical keyboard. I like having big screens. Like right now, I'm using a 56 and a 64-inch televisions as my computer screens. I also do the layout of my book as I'm typing it. So for me, if I say, hey, I'm working, I don't have the same capacity to also text you like you do, because you're at your job where you might just be doing this one thing and you aren't really in charge of any of the other things that have to go on. So I guess that's probably like the thing that I run into a lot is you don't understand like that I'm actually working.
Yeah.
Because I don't go to a building like you. But I'm working, and you got to like treat it as such. But it's kind of like hard to get that across to like someone who doesn't have that same like lifestyle, where it's like, well, what do you mean you were working at 9 and now you're working again at 6 and you're going to be working until midnight, 1 a.m? Well, at 9, I was inspired to write and do this. And right now I'm inspired to do some research on another subject that I'm working on. And so I need to start gathering that information. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting down. I'm looking at videos that tell me things. I'm doing the work for this. So yeah, I got another 6 hours ahead of me to do some other shit. But I don't really feel exhausted from it because it's something I'm inspired to do, where you probably like, oh, I went to work and I didn't really want to do this. So I'm enjoying my leisure time now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that when you are like in the midst of pursuing your stuff, you look at it the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like my free time is my free time, sure, but it's also times that I should be working. Because all my time is my free time. So I need to like make some of it productive. But that's not gonna like I can't like attune that to like your 9 to 5 schedule, because that's not how a productive clock works. It's not like, well, I woke up at 9, so I got to be productive until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm going to just be productive this entire time, and I'm going to take my lunch break at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm going to come back after my half an hour break, and I'm going to get these other 4 hours in. That's not how it works, really. You might have a meeting that's at 2 in the afternoon, but nothing going on that morning. So you chill out, you relax, you let that be your time, your off time. Like, I'm off work right now. I woke up and I'm off. I'm enjoying my day. I'm doing my things. But hey, you're at work right now, so no, we can't really engage the way you want. I think that's my biggest crush, because everything else doesn't necessarily bother me. Like, I get the like kind of feelings of like never being fulfilled, or like always wanting more, like, yeah, always wanting more, never really like feeling like a level of like this is good enough, and like all of those other things that could be seen as negatives, they don't really bother me. Like, I have them and experience them, but they're just kind of like part of the ride. But the one thing that I would, if I could change, I would, is like understanding would be nice. So yeah, understanding from family, from really shit, just anybody else that's not a creative. That level of understanding is usually missing, where it's like my grandmother came for me the other day. She said,
my beautiful Nubian princess say,
oh my God, this white lady. She hit me with so what are you doing? What do you mean? You should be down there not doing anything all day. What? When you gonna make money? This is a rapid fire of questions. All right. I see what type of day this is about to be. Yeah. You just be down there not doing nothing. Okay. So I don't even mention the podcast that I do weekly, the 3 of them. Well, 2 I do weekly and 1 I do every other week that she knows I do. Don't mention that we put those out consistently, the downloads that we have. None of that. I don't say anything about it. I said, I'm currently writing, actually. That's what I'm doing downstairs every day is I'm writing. She's like, it takes 2 weeks to write a book. What?
How many books have you written?
Damn, queen.
I didn't even go there with her. But I'm just let y'all know all the ways that she's come at me. So I said, I'm writing a book. She said, it takes 2 weeks to write a book. You've been writing that book since you've been here. That's not true. I'm actually working on a multiple of books, and so I'm pushing all of them forward at the same time. And that honestly hasn't been my main focus, because my main focus has been the show. But we don't got to get to that, because this is fine. I can show you what I'm doing. How you gonna make money? Do you not understand my life? Let me explain to you that what you worked for all them years until you was 65 was so you could retire and have a steady check coming in, and you could do the things that you wanted to do with life. Yeah. I achieved that at 24. I've been retired since 24. That's what you need to look at this like, Grandma. Your grandson has been retired since 24. That's what you need to start thinking. Because I don't know why you coming at for me, but, and he's like, how you go pay for a house if you want to get a house? Let me explain to you how my money works. I already have a stable forever income. So it's just playing multiplication and addition at that point. What do I need to add to this number to get me to a place that makes me more comfortable? Is it $1,200? Is it $1,400? Let's say it's $2,000. I need $2,000 a month.
$500 a week.
I can do that and be fully focused on my shit still. That's not a full-time job. But shit like that. Just like, you don't understand any of the processes. Like, no, it doesn't take 2 weeks to write a book, because one, are you not
about that entire
are you not
statement.
including any research that you have to do into the book that you want to write? Are you not having to do any outlining and planning of the book and the story? What type of book are you saying takes 2 weeks to write? Because do you mean an informational book? Because maybe, but if you're writing a creative work, then you have to create everything from it. the cultures from in the story, the way that they interact. And sure, you're pulling from things, but when you pull from things, you know what you have to do then? Fucking research. Research might take 2 fucking weeks. But you know what? You're right. That's why I'm going so hard on this book. And that's why it's going to be out by the end of summer. The finance book. I was like, bet. You got me fucked up. I'm going to have this, and now you got to buy 5 copies of it.
Oh,
So I got to buy 5 copies? Because you was talking shit. And you out here talking shit like I'm not working. And then so what I tell us, like, realistically, my 2 main focuses, get in the house. And that's why I just explain how my money works. Get in the house, because how you going to pay for that? And it's like, and the app that Charles is building, I was like, I've given him $2,500 or $3,000. I'm not sure yet.
Oh,
Somewhere around there. And I'm like, he's building an application for me that is my main focus because it stands to make a decent amount of money and be able to be leveraged into other things that allow us to move forward with capital as well. So I used a sizable bit of the capital that I had in like free money, threw it at that. And we're off to the races. But that also, she's like, how long it take to build an app? Hey, how long you been working on it? I'm like, she's like.
Now you see my 2-week thing to write a book.
Yeah.
How long you take to build an app, man? Charles, yeah. You and
Yeah, she go in.
that deep
She's
belly
like,
laugh.
she's like, oh, how long it take to do that?
I'm out here fighting air, basically.
Yeah, she say like,
It's like Tony probably
It's been like 2
honestly,
months.
I don't know, but it ain't easy.
So I started to explain to her the process is that because her thing was like 2 months or something like that. Like, quick, woman.
If I was only doing that for
What?
2 straight months, maybe. But I'm not going
He
to give you
said
anything
maybe.
good.
This nigga's not
It's not gonna be
guaranteed.
good. No, it's never
That's good.
guaranteed. You realize I spent a whole day of my life, like I was moving and grooving all the way up till I hit like Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and I installed this thing, this package called SAS. It wouldn't work.
Mm.
So I had to basically hunt down through the internet for basically 5 hours out of my normal 8-hour programming day, getting this goddamn SAS package to work.
Oof.
Just so means I can get, because it's like I've been talking about color palettes, stuff like that. I'm building components for this app. It ain't easy.
Well,
Yeah, so my thing is like, there's a lot that goes into this. Like, when you build the app, realistically, all that is the code. Then you also have to build the UI. The UI is which you're going to actually interact with. It stands for user interface for
Yeah.
people who aren't
And it's
technology
a
being
bitch and a
hard.
half because
Yeah,
you
but
got to make sure it works.
Yeah, and you have to make sure it's fluent, and then we're going to test that out so we see how do people enjoy using this, and is it user friendly. So there's
Because
a
the funny
lot that
thing is,
goes into
I
the
can
development of an app that is before it becomes like fully launched. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, I fully expect to hand Tony the first UI and be like, there are a lot of things that I don't like about this.
All I know, Charles, is you taking too long, according to my grandmother, and I have needed to be done with my book in 2 weeks.
It's just like,
You better hurry up,
that's
Charles.
fucking hilarious.
it's just
Right.
like,
I'm
I don't know
telling
why
you that-
I took proxy offense as soon as you said you're taking too long. I'm like,
Right.
I guess.
She just came out of nowhere
my
with
parents
it.
don't even ridicule me to that level. My
She came
grandmother
out
doesn't
of-
ridicule me to that level.
She came out of nowhere. And realistically, what it is my grandmother has seen me exist without like stably working
And it's vexing to
for
her.
like a decade now. And that shit worries the fuck out of her. Cause she don't understand what I'm gonna do in my life and what's happening and what's going on because it don't look normal. It's not the traditional route that she thinks that I should be taking. Okay, get a job, work there for the amount of years, retire when they say I can retire, and call that my life. Exactly. That sounds crazy. So since I'm not doing that, she can't really grasp the concept of what I am doing. So we usually have these debates every once in a while where she's like, how you gonna make money?
Somebody had to run the
Stop
business.
Asking me that dumb question when I told you I'm forever paid. That gonna cover your bills?
I make sure it does.
Why wouldn't it?
Like,
And if I need more,
Wouldn't it?
you've seen me go out and get more. It's not like I'm opposed to going to get work. Yeah, but you always quit
because I don't need it anymore.
because I've accomplished the goal that I set out for. And staying there isn't what I want to do. And it doesn't provide me happiness. So
Yeah, y'all got a whole different set of problems. They don't give a fuck about me. I give them a certain set of money. They shut the fuck up. I don't think I've had that conversation.
The only thing that's vexing is that you're actively paying bills and paying for stuff. So we know that you're not broke.
Yeah, they know money coming in, but I understand like with her grandma. I know
You're
understand
looking at
what,
me as just like, I've tried explaining this a bajillion times.
yeah, like y'all
And
saying
it's
the same
never-
shit to me. Y'all saying the logical shit to me that I told her. Yeah. But what
Just
she
like-
said is, you don't got no job. And what
And,
you gonna do?
yeah,
And how you gonna
right.
pay your bills?
I get
Stop.
that.
all my bills are paid.
Every once in a while, I'll get the AT&T hiring.
No, she don't ever tell me who's
Why?
hiring. She just always is, because she know that if I want to, I can go walk out and get a job.
Yeah.
She just very
It's vexing to
upset
her
that,
that
I won't do that, and I refuse to like acquiesce to working inside of a company for a long period of time.
Man.
Being is not really conducive to what you want to do.
Yeah, but she also she's like, those things should be happening much quicker than they are. So she thinks that I'm not doing anything that I say I'm going to be doing because they're not happening and not being actualized.
But
there's a show
maybe
that
she
comes-
really does need your books. It's just like, here's how financial literacy works. Here's the reason why I can actually
Let's make it
exist.
condescending.
Oh, I mean,
It's fair.
quintessential.
It's very-
Well, no.
Well, she's trying to take a
It
shot.
is terrible. It is terribly
She
condescending.
came at me
No, she
shooting.
listen.
Like,
I support my
said-
queen up there.
it take 2 weeks to write a book. Do you know how offended I was?
Every single time
when
you say it,
she-
she laughs.
Because I was, you know
You
how
laugh.
mad I was when she told me it take 2 weeks to write. Because she said that shit with such pride and confidence. Like,
I just want to know, albums can get made in 2 weeks if niggas push to the grind, but writing a book in 2 weeks?
Okay,
what?
I hate to tell you this. Albums can be made inside of 2 weeks if you really want to.
Yeah.
But for everyone else who probably had something to do with that album, yeah, you sat there and recorded that album.
That's
for
what
2
I'm
weeks.
saying. You had
Who made
the-
all of the actual sheet music and did all the other shit.
I heard niggas is, like, oh, we made this album in a week or a couple
Well,
days.
I know
whatever.
like the people that go in there
But a
and
book?
they just have and producers on standby and they just come in and they'll
Just
lock
throwing
in for
beats at
2
you.
weeks. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
they'll
go
be like, all right,
hard,
you're making it.
mixing it and
And we're
stuff
doing
like
it. Like
that.
that's how they did the J. Cole, the Revenge of the Dreamers thing. Like they all locked in for that. Like,
Depeche Mode.
But
They was
you know
talking
how
about
much
their
that
album.
probably ran J. Cole?
bruh. So in my mind, I'm like, so what you think I got is a full staff of researchers and editors and
Which I would love to have.
ghostwriters that help me form my stories and put them together and create these works, because that's the only fucking way it's happening in 2 weeks if I'm not the one doing it all. But if I'm my researcher and my editor and the one that's doing the layout and all of the creation and getting people to read portions and give me feedback so I can readjust what I've already written and edit that before I get too far, and it all is a mess, and that's too much to just ask like casual readers to say, hey, take a look at this. So there's a lot of like doing writing, going back, rewriting, deleting some shit, changing some shit, reworking some shit, being fucking writer's block, having that shit happen, having to sit and look at a blank page for hours. Bitch.
That's kind of the nice thing probably about your.
What's your grandma's name now?
It was almost bitch. It was almost
That's
bitch.
probably the nice thing. That's probably the nice thing about having the primary book that you're writing right now that you're trying to get done by the end of summer, because it's very
Yes, it's very
by the
straightforward. It's very by the book, and so I
whereas
can
for
crash through it, and that's why I'm not writing for any of the other books. I said, all right, bet you want to see something, I'm gonna stop writing on all the other books. I'm not
so
gonna do any
everything's
more.
gotta be done
Other
by the end of summer.
everything, all the other shit is on hold, so I can just do this book. So I'm gonna just put that out. I'm like, bet. So here is the finished project that is going to be sent off to an editor. You'll be buying this in September,
Yep.
and so yeah.
And she
'cause-
better be putting all the clicks on our website, clicking all the ads.
Yeah,
We
because
gonna have
like
this all done by
no,
the
you
end of
got me
summer.
fucked. You got me fucked
It's
up.
just
Like,
like, that's my goal.
even in that sphere of getting those things done, do you think like your
Fucked
ambition. No.
I don't know. It's just like as soon as the app thing was said, I got offended.
Do we?
It's just
Bruh,
like
she
Let
came
me
at.
finish my point.
Yeah, go to your point because we over here bad.
Yeah, bad as fuck. Let me finish my point. What my problem is with ambition, and then I'll ask my other question. I think for me, being an ambitious person is that I guess it is geared towards the opposite sex, where men don't feel like I need them, and I know that's like a primary thing of their lives is to feel needed. Other than that, they don't want to really be around you. But I've always been the person that's like pretty self-starting, and I don't really have to ask or beg my way for most of the majority of things in my life. So that's always been kind of something that I noticed, that they don't feel needed, so they don't really want to, I'm not going to say intimidated, but I'm sure it's going to say it's a little bit more difficult finding somebody that just understand, like, she might not need me on the material, might not need me materially. Even in my study, my scholarship on the spiritual and metaphysical front, it's not that I'm not open to it. It's just, I don't know what the fuck type of energy I be giving off. But a lot of dudes just feel like I don't really need them around, or even getting things done. Like if you tell me you got a goal for something, I'll be like, all right, let's get started on it like yesterday so we can get it done. And then you got to deal with people's like, well, no, I need to be this way and I need to be that. I'm like, no, you just start with what you have. And some people don't understand, like, you just kind of just got to start getting with men, getting on that one, getting past their pride on how something should look. Oh my fucking God. You're like, this doesn't have to be that complicated. You could just start with what you have and then grab what you need going. But yeah, I would say like, that's the big one. People not understanding like, yeah, I know this don't look like how you want it to look, but I'm really being called to this and I'm really just want to try. Just let me try. I know things are going to look a little different. It might be a little wacky, but I could always go back to that. I swear.
I mean, the weirdest thing for me in the application that we're building is I had to get out of my own head in terms of, you know what? I wanted this to go inside a very orderly fashion. And that's probably just not the way it's going to
Yeah,
work.
my how was what I was getting stuck up for years. Like, it has to look this way because I was so ambitious in my own head. But it was like, no, this is just an ego trip. You know, you're afraid to take that first step. You're afraid to take that leap. And once I got over it, once I was just like, well, let's just dive in, it was like, oh, I get it now. You just kind of find the resources there. And how you want it to look is not the best way for it to go anyway. What if it's something better for you? What if it's supposed to be better than how you envisioned it? Because you only got like a certain limited amount of information anyway. So why not just see where this takes you, see what you can learn?
Yeah, I think that's fair when you said like about men not really feeling like you need them.
Yeah.
I can say I like to feel like I'm needed, but I don't like to feel like I'm needed financially.
Yeah.
I just want to know that if it's an emotional issue or something that has to do with you on a personal level, that I'm the person that you're going to come to. And that's where you need me at.
Yeah.
I don't want you to need me financially, but I think a lot of guys are used to being able to dominate a woman in that way where I'm the breadwinner, I make all the money. And so I kind of get to like determine where we go and what we do.
Right.
Because I have the majority of the money. And so you'll chip in a little bit, sure, but it's going to be me that's making the primary decisions. Whereas you're like, well, we can go half where I can pay for the things that I want to do. And I just need you to be here as a equal, like emotional partner. And I don't know if that's
where
just well, not even where most dudes, because I can say like most people recognize to like be that to the other person. It's like, no, but I want it to look this way. Because like I said, like with the women that I run into on the opposite end of the spectrum, they aren't necessarily satisfied because they don't have the level of control that would come from like you dating a woman. Like she generally controls your free time and like.
I don't think I run into too many guys who would just be okay with you running.
No, when I say control your free time, like you're going to spend, especially if like you're looking at her as like the woman that's going to be like your future.
Yeah.
You're going to spend a majority of your time like trying to invest in that.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like that's where her dominance, like just like a man is like, if he's just naturally the breadwinner, he's going to spend a majority of his time just paying for the things. Like that's you when you go out with women, you pay for all the stuff.
Yeah.
That's just where you exist. But you're used to like doing all of that. Some men, when they're doing all of that, because it's how we exist, view, all right, since I'm paying for all the things, I get to dictate when I don't want to pay for something. I don't want to do that. Or if I don't think that's a good idea because I'm financing it. And so I'm going to say no.
I mean, yeah, to some degree. I guess that's a thing that I will do. But
so
I don't know. But I'm also not going to be upset that someone's because
what I'm saying, I'm not saying that you're going to get upset. I'm just saying that that's how we operate because we have the money generally. And so we make the decisions. But then there's men that are uncomfortable when it's like, well,
they can step outside of you and just pay for it themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good decision. And they can say, okay, I that's cool, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take this chance anyway and do it. And so that they do it. And then the man is more mad that they didn't
co-sign on it.
Listen to them. They didn't they didn't need them to like make this happen. And since they don't want them to be doing it, now it's an issue.
Well, you didn't see, that's my entire thing is like, I feel like if you actually had a well thought out argument on why this was a bad idea.
But it's not about it being a bad idea. It's about
just men wanting to having that power.
Yeah, like because how like a woman wants to, like the woman that you're supposed to like be dating and like viewing as like the long term and like committing to, she's going to want your free time. But like I said, if you are creative, the time that you might be free and like open isn't necessarily accessible to her.
Right.
That's
things can run over. If she get off at 5:00 and you're not done what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Even if it's 7 or 8 or whatever this project took longest fuck for.
What if you hit like a fucking programming stride and like were having some issues earlier in the day and now you took a little break, you came back at it and boom, shit is just making shit and clicking and now you're in a groove and you don't want to stop because you're feeling good, you're vibing, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
You're going to program until you're just tired of programming now.
I've had situations like that. I've had girlfriends that ran into situations like, what happened? Oh, it's dark outside. Well, damn. I was supposed to call you, wasn't I? It's just like.
Well, I guess now the next question would be, if you are that type of worker where like you feel fulfilled working that much, but how do you think the woman's supposed to feel when it's like, well, you only call me when you ready to have my attention? How do you think that will play out?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I recognize that it's hard to deal with me because I don't come with traditional things that you're going to be accustomed to. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like how when we talked about the subtle art and again, like that pain.
Yeah.
Like if this isn't a pain that you're willing to sacrifice and suffer through, mm-hmm. I can't make you and I don't want that for you. Like I'm going to be doing the things that I feel called to do that make me feel productive and things like that. But I also recognize that might not make you feel the most comfortable. And that's a valid argument because it does feel like I want to give you my time only when I want to give it to you. In actuality, if you had all the same free time as me, we would spend a lot more time together because it's not that I just want to give you the time that I want. It's just if we spend a lot of time together because we're both naturally free, I would just break away naturally and go do my thing and say, hey, I'm about to go write. Mm. And you would have been able to spend time with me and then see the delineation of, all right, we were cool and then he got inspired and he's going to go do that now. But you don't have the same time as me, so you can't see you don't know what that looks like.
You don't interact with work inside the fundamentally in the same way I interact with work. So
not at all.
For you, it's punching in and punching out. And to some degree, I kind of do that punch in and punch out in terms of programming. It's like I wake up, I program for a certain amount of time, see what I have to do in terms of my work for the IT contracting stuff. If I have nothing to do, I continue programming or I go out and go do what I need to go do. And then sometimes I come back in the evenings and I program some more. Like, and that's kind of a fundamental thing I figured out at this point is just like, what kind of time do I actually really have to give to anybody?
Mm-hmm. Like what I like doing is I wake up, I usually come down here, cut on YouTube, see what sports stuff is happening the day before that I might have missed.
Yeah, the
sports news start winding up my day. That's usually like usually like the 6 a.m. shows.
Yeah.
So I'm checking all those out. And I'm
Figuring out what
probably
you plan on doing.
hitting the bong. After that, I'm looking for a long form video that's going to be like 20 minutes or so that I can throw on. And then I'm getting to writing. But inside of that, I might write for an hour straight. And then I'm like, all right, let me move this over into the template and InDesign. All right, this is only going so far into filling other pages up. What's the issue here? So then that took me about 2-3 hours because before I researched how to make it myself, I was looking for other templates and things like that. I was like, all right, well, I don't really know what's going on here. What are some other templates that I can use that might be beneficial? So I tried a few of those out. None of them were really what I was looking for. I found the one that I liked, but there was just this problem. So then I was like, all right, well, how do I get text to go to a page? So I asked that, watched the video, understood that. So now as y'all will see, I'm working with the layout. But I have to look for it, then even understand, all right, what are you trying to do and what question do you need to ask? Because I don't have a resource I don't have a boss I can just go and say, hey, I got this problem. I have to be the one that does the critical thinking.
Out the right question.
Figure out the right questions to ask, which is also a process in itself, because you can ask Google something and get completely useless information, or you can ask Google exactly what you want to know and get the most correct information. But it's you putting in the question that's going to result.
Can't blame a tool for you asking the wrong question.
And so I recognize that sometimes I don't phrase things the right way, or like I'll write it how I was speaking or how I was thinking it, but that's not the way that you would need to ask it, because the way that you're thinking it is you just like pondering it in your head, but the way that you would ask it to somebody else is formed differently. So I have to come up with that. But all of this is something that you on yourself have to figure out. It's not that like you Ash can't just go troubleshoot and say, hey boss, some of my orders aren't going to be shipping on time. I need you to put in a work order and call somebody and get this expedited. That's not how that works for you.
Mm-mm.
We have to troubleshoot and problem solve in real time on our own, and that takes a amount of time. Shit, I had to stop and figure out, all right, what's the best way to say this? Because the way that I said it, I don't like it anymore. And that takes time to just go back through, because as I'm putting stuff into the template, the good thing about that is it's giving me a second chance to look at my writing and be like, actually, I do this a lot. Like I say in my writing before I caught it, I was saying now a lot. Like I would start the sentence with now let's do this. Now I'm, now before, now beware. Just like we don't really need now to start off and say, yeah, why are we saying now? Why are we initiating everything? So I went through it and started deleting all that. But I wouldn't have caught that if I wasn't also my own editor and template designer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every step of it is work, but you have to be doing all the steps of it.
Right.
And that takes a level of time and energy and focus. Like you get exhausted just like pondering something for 2 hours straight. And then you're like, you know what? I need to take a break from this, because all I've done is think about it entirely. I haven't looked anywhere else. I haven't really touched. Like sometimes I'll have a video on and then the next thing I know, it's been silent for like an hour and a half. I haven't moved. All I've done is just been here writing and shit like that. And I'm like
cross-legged somewhat.
Yeah.
Trying to figure something out.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I've dived into research mode and everything else is like melted away. And I don't know if people get into that when they work regular jobs where you like get into that like that zone where nothing else really matters. Like I'm not checking my phone. I don't care if it's beeping. I don't even see it beeping at this point. Like it could be lighting up, going crazy. I am focused on the screen and the things that I'm reading and what I need to be researching, what I'm looking at, because I'm totally focused. Yeah, I'm tunnel vision right now.
Yeah.
And so,
for what you said in terms of actually reaching out, I think it's only fair that I am the person who reached out, because I'm the person whose schedule is difficult.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no clear cut time for you to actually initiate with me. So I have to be the person who does that level of initiation. And at some fundamental level, yes, it would be nice if someone reached out to me, but I also understand that my schedule doesn't make a lick of fucking sense half the time. So what are you really going to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds nice. But
or even like I think on the material, like my focus mostly is like my spiritual ambitions. Like I'm 1,000,001% of getting myself together. And I don't think people understand how hard that could be for real. Like really like I just realized like maybe I'm not in this space. Like I was watching a video about abandonment issues and he was saying, so the lady was talking about how you wanted somebody to just be there for me emotionally and just like, so he's like, so you want a fairy godmother to just show up when you're not feeling good? He's like, yeah. He's like, no, what you don't want a relationship. You want an emotional caregiver. And how that just kind of like put a whole bunch of shit in perspective for me being like, oh, I'm not really ready for these things that I'm somehow simultaneously fighting and sometimes like desperately wanting. Like I'm not really ready for that, but nobody will really understand like the amount of work that you even just got to put on yourself on a daily basis combined with running your own shit through and like just basically being 100% like accountable for your own life. And it's nobody else's fault but mine at these points. And I don't think people really understand, like even my goals be kind of lofty, not lofty, but what would y'all say? That's a good question. Would y'all like, how do y'all deal with people scoffing at y'all goals? Like if you had a goal that really meant a lot to you and people were just like, what?
Scoffing at my goals.
I turned it in the field. That's why I take it as my grandmother did. Like,
Yeah.
nigga, you ain't doing shit down there. Go to work. Bitch, watch me work.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me show you. Since you think it's nothing, I'm about to show you some work. And you gonna see. You don't look at nothing before, you gonna get the full totality of it. And so for me, it's motivation. It's like, I recognize that people can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. Because that just means I got a forest, you got a tree. You're going to walk around that tree and hope it give you as many apples as it can, but its season is going to wane and it's going to just be that one type of tree. I'm going to go through this forest and experience multiple types of trees and
I'll have some pears.
Pears and apples and oranges. I'm going to experience a whole litany of different things and you're going to have that one tree that you exist up under. So allowing someone who doesn't have vision to like affect me in a negative way, nah. And I honestly wouldn't even let someone that I didn't know motivate me. It's only because I know that she gonna see it. Because any other person, I don't give a fuck what you random say. But that one, you gonna have to feel this. I'm gonna make you feel it.
How do you think that's detrimental to just be to have this level, not to other around you, but to yourself? Like, how do you see it in your life play out? Like, sometimes you wish, like, sometimes I wish I wasn't as ambitious.
I might be alone.
Yeah.
I spent a good portion of my time alone in my life, so it means I'm already kind of accepting of being alone.
Yeah, like
It's
how Charles
kinda sad.
said, like, where do I have the time?
Mm-hmm.
If I do all these things and I want to have a level of self-care, because I get what Charles is saying about, because I guess your ambition is different. It's outside of work.
Yeah.
I won't speak for your ambition in writing,
Okay.
but I would say for like sales and things like that, you're more of like a spiritually ambitious person. So I think that's, well, I don't know really what type of work that requires actually, but it's probably a lot of reading and like self-reflection and like, I don't know, honestly.
That's pretty much, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like those are
but
two
then the
things.
action too.
Yeah, but
I
yeah, then
can't
you have
talk
to
a
like,
game. I gotta do this shit. I
Yeah,
gotta
you gotta
actually
try
put in
and-
the implement of changing.
yeah, you got to try to work and like, all right, how am I going to implement this new thing that I think is going to be valuable into my life? And then recognize, all right, I started doing that. It doesn't make me feel better. It doesn't provide the thing that I thought it was going to do. So let me change and stop doing that now. Remove that and maybe something else that I recognize while I was doing that is the way that I got to go. So I guess that is like writing, because you just got to kind of try and redo and
Yeah, you gotta fall so many times. It's so many failures that I put myself through to even get to the point where it's like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. That hurts. I'm not doing it. Ouch. Let's stop. Let's get off this merry-go-round. That right there alone, I know people don't want to think that it's not important. It's very important to me because I've tried everything that everybody's trying to do. I've done it, and I've not succeeded in the only things. The only things I've ever felt successful in is the spiritual work that I do on myself, and everything else after that lines up. So I'm gonna leave it there.
I mean, that's your first.
But that seems like what it feels like you're called to do then. If you're called to engage with reality on a spiritual level and see how that operates with you, and that led you to being like, all right, on a spiritual level, I don't feel called to be inside of somebody else's building to do the things that they want me to do. I want an existence that kind of allows me more freedom and like options to take a break and like engage with my child more and prioritize her learning and her growth and things like that. So I think that's a
shit. Even with stuff like that, like even the fact that I homeschool my kid would probably put somebody else, not even on the back burner, but would turn somebody off. Like I realize like how my life is set up and the goals that I have is not indicative to somebody really being in there. 50% because of how I set my life up, and the other 50% is I'm just not ready. Like I just got a lot that I want to do, and I don't know if I can really give that to somebody else anyway, because I'm not fucking ready. I don't know what that shit looks like on the other side, but I know how to get this other stuff done. And that could be pretty off-putting. Like I said, I got a lot of goals. I want my life to be a certain way, and it's not that I'm holding on to how it looks, but to even maintain this shit is just bonkers.
I mean, my thing is, I just don't know when the projects are going to end. Even once I finish with like Comic Universe, I know there's going to be what?
Said it now.
Oh,
yeah.
It's out there now.
Yeah, it means I have to work hard and just get it like copyrighted.
You can get it copyrighted. That's easy.
Mm-hmm. But continue.
I can go backwards.
It doesn't matter.
I had for some reason for the entire show I had not said it, and it was just like, and
then it just flopped. I was like, yeah, you hadn't said it at all, and I was like, that's great. And then did you finally say that? I was like, oh, we just all right. It doesn't matter at this point. It's fine.
But I just once I finish this project, I just know the next project is going to be immediately after that, and there's always going to be a next thing. And I have to figure out when what I want is different from what I'm doing and divest from what I'm doing and get to what I want. If you understand what I'm saying, it sounds kind of nonsensical. Maybe my thought pattern is somewhat divorced from what I'm doing based on like me wondering whether or not I should go back or not. But now I don't know where it is.
Is y'all ambitions like getting lesser as you get older, or are they growing for you guys?
I would say they're about the same.
Yeah, I don't think that it's getting less. Like, I've never really viewed time the same way most people do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like for a lot of like the year, I'm operating on plans that are like about to come to fruition.
Yeah.
So I'm always like in the future operating in that way, like, because it's like, all right, well, I've done the work to get these going and get them started. So, all right, once these come out, sure, I maintain whatever I'm doing currently, but my mindset and whatever I'm really focused on is always on the future. So I don't really think that is like lessened at all. Like, it hasn't really like, I wouldn't say it's intensified. Like, I don't feel like more stressed about it or like it's on my mind heavier like since I've gotten older, but it's definitely not on my mind less. It's never like, damn, this time is gone and maybe I'm tired and I just kind of want to do something different. I've never really like gotten to that point. But I'd say like going back to your other question about like the detrimental to like self, and talking about how we all kind of like acknowledge that maybe being alone and not having someone else that like identifies with you is a portion of that. I think that that was something that I had to get comfortable with. It's like how Charles said, like there's certain things like I don't know when the project is going to be done, and I recognize that me not knowing when the project is going to be done might not be the answer for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Me also loving what I do, like when I get in a trance and like me writing this book, regardless of the fact that like old Biddy out there, like I'm having an amazing time writing this. Like, I love the research aspect of it. I'm loving putting it together. Like, I love the creation of it. Like, doing all of the things myself, I'm in love with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have some plans on, like, working with this publishing company. So, yeah. It's just, I'm having a great experience doing the work and just doing it. And I don't know when that's not going to be that.
Yeah.
And so if it's never not that, and I want to continue to do that, I would need someone that is accepting of that lifestyle for a long-term period. Like, I recognize that it's not that you just want to get this book out. It's that this is what you do as a person. And so I guess getting someone to recognize that this isn't necessarily about a singular project. It's about who you are as an individual and like accepting that. And so I think that's sometimes more nuanced where people think that, because that's what I ran into. It's like, one of the people I was talking to was like, once you reach that number and you hit all your goals and you're done. And I was like, that's not.
What do you mean?
What do you mean once I'm done? Why would I be done? Like, you look at it as being done because of things that you are looking at doing.
Because you're a 9 to 5 mindset.
Yeah,
it's time to clock out, bitch.
But just be done with like.
This is living.
Done with like this as her job and being like, all right.
Yeah, then you see how you apply that to everything in everyone's life. Like, oh, it's time to stop now that the goal is accomplished.
And it's like, but no, my goal is like.
No, it's just continuous.
I mean, I always put things out there that are kind of living and breathing. So that means it's like, all right, I'm done. Now I have to keep it working.
Right.
Like, this is the way stuff works. I guess with a book, it's a finite thing to a certain degree with the first project that you're doing. But the next project, like your actual project, the thing that you really care about, they're not all very one-off things.
No, I'm writing 3 simultaneous books that all exist in the same universe.
So it's
for
just
varying
like,
time periods that I have maybe 25 chapters of one, 13 chapters of another, and then I'm just doing a lot of like the one that's going to be big and grandiose. I'm doing a lot of like the heavy lifting when it comes to like world building and that, and like doing like a book Bible and like actually knowing like the types of races. So it's just,
and once you spin something like that up, it's very hard to get like to stop stuff like that.
And even once I do that, after I do that, like for me, it's like
I'll have another idea.
Y'all know me. I have creative ideas all the time. Like I'm always like, hey, we could do this and we could do this. And y'all like, we should probably focus on the things that we already said we're going to do.
Bruh.
So
I'd be like,
you can just relax.
Yeah, just stop.
And
write it down.
We got a lot of things on back burners.
And
we got
I have a whole
that we do on front burners.
Yeah.
It's just like, we'll get to it.
I have a whole backlog in my phone and a whole like business outline for a multi-controlled network that's similar to this, but it's also doing a lot more like things in like app development and things like that are things that I plan to still get to and incorporate into this. So it's like,
yeah, I already know the first app is just the first app.
Yeah, there's a
I
whole.
know Tony not gonna literally let me go anywhere. It's just like, well, now we got this one done.
Yeah,
Next one.
Yeah, now that you got some of your legs up under you and your feet are wet, come on, time to do number 2.
Because it's like I figured. See, the funny thing was that it is not necessarily a trick, but Tony figured out the primary thing that got me to jump off the cliff. And now that I'm off the cliff, he knows I'm not going to climb back on.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like
that'd be crazy.
It was a wild. It's like I'm looking back at it. It's just like, God damn it! I think I was manipulated. Tony's just sitting here like, maybe.
Charles.
What?
My job is to
Get me to jump off the cliff when I need to jump off the cliff.
yes
Then you don't-
for everybody. That's what my role is here. When is because I would say y'all are the more like reserved and the trepidatious, and not even like trepidation in like a bad way, but just like cautious and like, hey, I might want to look where I'm stepping before I step there, and I'm like,
This nigga,
Step.
no,
just
no.
step.
This nigga just want to run off.
Yeah.
He don't want to
It's
just walk and be like,
you're running through
"All right,
a
I'ma
minefield,
jump."
Tony.
Yeah, this nigga just
want
want
I'll step on a mine.
Yeah.
Bruh, wait a minute. There got to be
Next
some
thing
middle ground
he makes
here.
it all the way across.
Can
the
we
North,
skip?
Like the DMZ.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Hey, but I
how
get
did
there.
How did you just run across a whole
But-
Because the
minefield?
shit was blowing up,
You
but I
get
kept
there,
running.
but then do you ever just look around like I didn't really have to do? It's fucked up. Like
Oh, no,
yeah,
Tony's completely
you
and totally
land on your
fine
feet
with-
every time. You don't. That's the problem.
I don't
like,
think he
oh,
lands on his feet every time.
I'm
just
trying
think
to
he accepts
fly. This
falling.
nigga just trying to go.
well, no, see, I'm trying to fly, but I also recognize that
Good.
sometimes,
It took
You
the
have
Wright
to
brothers a lot of
go.
airplanes.
yeah, it takes a
That
lot of
I
airplanes
agree
to
with.
go. And so most people will be like, I think that people need to have that first failure. And that's what usually causes people that fear. It's like, I
Yeah.
ain't failed yet, and I want to do this. So, bitch, let's run. We're
Yeah,
going to
I
run
had
right
to-
into failure, and then either you going to be the type of person that gets up and recognizes, all right, we failed, let's reevaluate and do something different, or you going to stay down there and just wallow in failure, but you was going to do that regardless. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
So it's like, we going to figure out who you are, and I'm going to figure out who you are.
Yeah,
And
we're going to test this metal real quick. Because failure can't be your determining factor on whether you're going to continue or not, because we're going to fail. That's not an if, it's not an and, it's not a maybe. Failure is going to happen. You going to fail because
That's how
shit
fucking-
fails.
It's
That's
like,
just what happens.
I've gone through 2 different versions of this app as of this moment. And as of this point, I'm more so just accepting of the fact that it's like, no, you know what victory is, getting to the end. And if I get to the end, it doesn't matter that 2 other versions of this app basically didn't work. It's like, damn, this first one, it's not set up the way I want it to be, and this just ain't gonna work. I tried to do a Python backend. It's just like, this also didn't work. All right, I'm just gonna do Node, and I'm gonna run all JavaScript and do all this other stuff. I'm speaking Chinese, but for the most part, it's not about the fact that I had 2 other attempts. I figured out something that is now going to work, and like I pretty much, like me and Tony have both been inside a fugue state this entire week.
Mhm.
Every single time he called me, I've been working on this thing, yada, yada, yada. How's that going? What are you doing? Programming, figuring this stuff out?
Yeah, me and him talk. He's programming, I'm writing. And I get inspired all the time, so I recognize that I
I
can't
can't wait to
make a person beholden to that lifestyle.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it's going to come with a lot of benefits. It's going to be amazing. So if you want that, then cool. But it's also going to come with some nights that you're in your bed alone.
also,
Because I'm spending the entire night writing because honestly, that's what makes me feel good. And I don't want
Separate
to retire.
bedrooms. I just saw that problem right there for your bitch.
I
Separate
could never do that.
bedrooms.
That would make me upset.
Separate bedrooms from
Bitch,
you.
why are you in the other bed? What are you doing?
My ambitions have definitely lessened. It's just changing every time. Every time I go through something in failure, I just reimagine it.
see,
and
that's
go
not what you
different.
think.
But
I don't think your ambitions are becoming less. You're changing them. I
But
don't
they
think-
not like as grand, or maybe not as grand. Maybe I don't have as many like material goals as I once did.
the end result isn't as great.
But I think maybe.
But you still got them all.
Well, I don't know if that's the
I
truth.
mean,
I mean, like, all right, so if we take a vast look at all people,
mhm.
are we going to say that they're at any level spiritually adept? Really?
Mm.
No. So, since that's genuine people per capita, at this level, you'd probably could say that I'm doing pretty well for a person and call it a day
Mhm.
and be a pretty well-adjusted human being. But what your grandiose idea is that I'm not going to just stop at this one level of spiritual openness and awakening. I'm going to continue to twist and make my spirit uncomfortable to reach higher and higher heights of existence that I feel like I can get to. That's a grandiose ass idea.
It don't seem that grand to me. It just seemed like, because I guess I don't know. Maybe I do it every often. I'd be like,
Because, I mean, the thing that I want to do sounds grand to other people, but it's just what I want to do. I'm making it happen. It's just
Yeah.
the shit that it's what you're willing to do. It's like, but for you, you recognize, honestly, the material shit don't move me. I can get a job and buy shit and get a car and do things. I can quit a job and buy shit and get a car note and do things. I can move out and buy these material things and play house. I can live here and do these things, but the material shit is just influx and it don't really make me feel good as a person. So why would I focus on that? It seems like the things that make you feel good are, hey, I want my daughter to be a very well-adjusted human being,
which is
not just like a run-of-the-mill like human being, but like have like nuance and understanding of self, and can like, even if she don't get it immediately because she's gonna be young and not necessarily thinking about it all, have the tools when she's ready to use them.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
wait till when she gets out in like college,
a normal parent goal.
And then she gonna be out here like,
how many parents you know got goals like that?
People crazy, ma. They don't understand anything.
How many parents you got like that?
Not many.
But like,
exactly.
You know how many people are actually gonna have a fully well-adjusted kid at the end of like you're actually trying to build a whole. You're trying to build a whole person. I feel like that's
shit matter to me,
more.
like,
but that don't matter to a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Shit, a lot of parents our age, our parents, like that's not what they was doing. They was like, we gonna keep you alive and the rest of you is just gonna have to figure it out on yourself. Yeah. And so it's like, you have lofty goals. They're just not materialistic goals. But I don't think that makes them less lofty.
Yeah, because it don't even stop at Riley just being like, I envision my family like on all fronts. Like, no, we get this out the way first. And you can be whoever you need to be. It's just this right here is important to see how you step into the world. That shit is helly as important to me. If I had a man, like, no, we need to take care of this first and this. So you can be better for the things that you want to do and learn how to tackle them. And then those moments where we be fucking up, you know, you can at least get yourself out of them.
And have resources to pull upon. Yeah. So, you want... Your thing isn't about the material. It's about family. It's about y'all having spiritual growth and evolution and reaching a level where it's like, hey, we've reached this level where, yeah, we're going to deal with just life shit. But the way that we interact with each other, the way that we treat each other, the way we handle each other and care for each other is perpetuated by these tools. So we don't cause just unnecessary damage, harm, and just hurt. And continue that cycle. That's lofty.
Like most people,
I want to break.
What
you said is, I want to break the generational curse of my family and create a family that has a healthy and positive outlook. But that's not how your family has been operating for generations. But that's what you want to change.
Right.
You gonna break it all in one.
But
generation.
That's not lofty. You're right. You got that little ass goal. Go ahead. You should get that done in 2 weeks.
One generation, just
2 weeks.
2
weeks. You still gonna have her be around some of these toxic people.
Yeah, Ash, 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to get it done. Like, I'll be done in my book in 2 weeks. You get done with that in 2 weeks. You get done programming. You got too much, Charles.
Then we'll have it all figured out.
Yeah, we'll be all done.
We're all done.
All our Ash is exactly with us.
Yeah, all of our goals will be done. You got 2 weeks to do it though. Because I don't know why it's gonna take you longer than 2 weeks to, figure out what you need to figure out.
You got 2 weeks to fix racism.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was close to realization too. It was like, you want something like, say if I keep eating the bologna sandwiches, but I want to go eat at the Gucci restaurant. You got to stop eating them Gucci sandwiches.
Yeah.
Get in the car.
You want that Gucci toast?
Like you got to stop feeding yourself bologna sandwiches, ass.
What is it?
Yeah, and you got to go get to the thing that you want to get to.
Yeah, if you want to go eat that $35 piece of toast.
I don't think ambition is bad. I think that it is.
I think the intent behind it could lead you fucking stray. And I remember when I used to say that you should probably get to know yourself first before you start achieving things. And then he pointed out that's implying that you shouldn't do anything. And it was. And that's not what I meant. What I'm starting to see is, can you have a level of intent to just be like, I don't know where this is, because you kind of can't know what you don't want unless you fuck up at it.
Also, I have one thing to say to all of the people who, like, in terms of us being alone, there's also going to be gaps of time where we have like massive swaths of like, it's free like time. Once you're finished, it's like you take a break for like 2 to 3 months. It's just like,
yeah, the way my schedule's set up, if you be like, hey, can we go see a movie at 5? Sure.
Yeah, like if you ask me, I can make time. But
yeah, I'm always willing to make time.
Not something that I can't be like, I'm not spending the
I don't
entire
exist.
like once you get off work, it can't be. Hey, I got off at 5, and so I need you to spend from 5 to the next day with me.
You mean 5 to 10? You go to sleep. Okay, I've never understood like you needing me. It's also like,
No, you sleep with me. We in the same bed. Let's go to bed.
all right, it's just like you go to bed and I'll be up there eventually. Why are you looking at me like I'm a
Or
madman?
no, what if you don't? No. What if you don't live with them
What do you mean? What if I don't live with them?
and they want you to spend the night?
I got work.
Exactly. I have shit that I want to do, and I want to go.
I'm not even gonna describe
gotta
it
go
as
to
shit
work.
that I want to do. It's like I have work. This is what this is. I'm a lot more regimented with my time because to a certain degree there's some inspiration that has to do with it, but it's a lot more like I can do a lot more analytical stuff, and then I have to have inspiration for certain things. So the amount of inspiration to like logic is a lot like your book. There's this current book. There's a lot of there's some inspiration in there, and there's some things you gotta like work things out in your head, but a lot of logic.
Yeah.
So I can kind of do a 9 to 5 thing, but I also just kind of choose to a certain degree not to. But then again, like with some of the people I was talking to, is just like,
I mean, I guess I could turn my like research and shit like that into a 9 to 5 thing, but that doesn't feel good creatively.
no, it doesn't.
So why the fuck would I
Subject
sacrifice?
yourself to that?
Yeah, subject myself to being unhappy, which is basically you want me to have a job like you, where you're not happy with that. So I should do the thing that doesn't make me happy in the most fulfilled, where I put myself in a position to do so.
Yeah.
Because like I program in 4 and 4s. So I wake up, program 4 hours, and before I go to sleep, I typically program another 4 hours. It may not be in one shot. It's like, all right, I sat down for 2 hours, got up, tossed. Like this morning, I woke up, I programmed, I watched some E3 stuff, and I paced around, thought about things, sat back down, did some programming, came over here, did the podcast. I might sit down and do another hour. I may wake up earlier and do an extra hour tomorrow morning because that's the way my brain works. But but when I have like truncated things, I know I have to program for such and such amount of time a day. I at least make sure I hit that minimum mark.
Yes.
So like,
So mine's is definitely not as regimented as that. That is way too structured for me.
Yeah, I don't even got a schedule. I just write what I need to do, and I'm like, gotta get done. I don't got like at 9
I'm
o'clock.
not saying I
it's
100% stick to that. Like sometimes I wake up and I'll lay in bed for like an hour. Or sometimes I wake up and like a couple days I woke up and I was being hit with a hard drive told that I have to put this together. I was very upset about that because I'm sitting up here like, it's like a whole 5 terabyte hard drive. It's just like, why? It's just like, I told you I had a hard drive. This has nothing to do with me.
I think when I gave myself, like, I had a whole thing of alarms in my phone. When I gave myself times to do it, and then like say something wouldn't get done, I would beat myself up about it, and then everything else was spiral out of control. So I stopped that. Like I stopped putting this needs to be done this time. This needs to be like no. As long as they get done, as long as your priorities is out the way, figure out what your priorities for that day is, and then whatever else can either be moved to the next day or you can take a nap and go do it. But me and time, like this has to be done at this specific time from what I'm doing now. Not to say that wouldn't change if I got a deadline or whatever in the future for
like something has to be shipped before such and such a time.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, I still got a package in my car. I ain't shipped. I keep forgetting to ship it out. That's so bad. But anyway. But yeah, stuff like that. You see how I gotta have it out and it's just chilling in my car. I'm like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what's wrong with me on this front. But it's just sitting there and
Oh.
it gotta go out tomorrow.
I can't do that. Like
The
that
regimented
regiment. Yeah, like
nature of
no.
it. But
Like I said, I probably wake up like 8. I'm not getting out of my bed though until like 9:30.
but I can do research and stuff on my phone.
I don't want to do that either. I want to lay there and
Kind of edge out and enjoy the air conditioning.
that and
Yo, I do that shit for so long. I'd be like, you could be doing anything
and
right
be
now.
half sleep and cut my alarms off, but I have so many alarms set in the morning because I just like not to sleep long in the daytime.
Mhm.
And I don't really need them all because once my one goes off, I'm up. But I enjoy that part of it, is where I'm laying there and another just random noise. I hit the little side thing and I lay there, and then that's just kind of like
shit.
it's just like all right. So when I want to do it, and then once I get tired of all the noise, I cut them off, and I'm like, all right,
no, niggas can't.
When
rush
am I
me.
getting up for real? All right, let's get out the bed. We got.
I
some
usually
shit to
get
do.
up after Riley pop in my room, make her appearance. She go and be like, I'm hungry. All right, that's my cue.
Out here, I
Yeah.
don't like getting up any earlier
Kid, why can't
than
you
like
just forage like every other child does?
Some days I'll be like, I'm not making you breakfast. But why? Because you can scramble an egg, nigga. Get out of face. You can do that. You
I'm
can
just
scramble an
saying,
egg.
Just go outside and forage.
Yeah.
Get some nuts and some berries.
Nah. I wish if we was the West Coast, I'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
But since we're on the East Coast time, getting up at 6,
It's basically
is-
pointless.
yeah, because on the West Coast, I can get up at 6 and it's 9 here.
Don't shit be going on.
Things have already started, so I can then jump right into the mix. I like that much more. But since there's nothing going on, it's usually like a
Bruh.
hard stretch for me to like
Everything.
get like content and things like that I need to like find and everything. Cause like,
Don't
you know,
nobody's
I'm
day
looking
be
at, I
started.
do all the news for the shows and everything like that. So I'm constantly throughout the week seeing what's going on. Like the K-Men show thing that I brought up today. I was just,
But you gotta wait for that information. I didn't know what the hell you was talking about until it happened to me. I'm like, I want to go, but nobody else wants to go.
yeah, exactly.
The world ain't moving. What's going on with y'all? And I was like, fuck it.
Doesn't start till
I'll
9
wait till
a.m.
9.
Eastern Standard Time.
That's when you can literally feel the shift in the air. After 9, you'd be like, all right.
Yeah. And so that's why I just don't get out of my bed till about 9. I'm like, all right, cool.
After 9, you can feel the shift. But before then, it'd be like,
It's probably very annoying on the West Coast to the point where it's just, well, in terms of like everyone else, I mean, it's probably nice to just be able to wake up and things be going on, but also,
Bro, the way that you can work is crazy. Because I can wake up and work, and yeah, y'all stop working a little earlier than us. So y'all stop working around 2 o'clock our time, because about 5.
but at that
maybe
point,
3.
you can actually stop doing stuff and just enjoy the rest of the day.
No, we still are open. Everything is still running. Because we still have another 3 hours to go. So I can work much more efficiently in the day because I start my day and I can just hit the ground running because there's already so much content. I'm already 3 hours behind everybody on the East Coast. So when I wake up at 6, I'm in the mix. Shit is going. Things are moving. Y'all wind down. Now I just focus on what's happening out here. And I'm still dealing with it. And then I'll stop maybe 6 o'clock. But that's 9 o'clock y'all time. I've
And
worked
then you
from...
can enjoy 6 to 9 just like it's a normal day.
Yeah.
Whereas like, so that means no overtime, no nothing. You know, there's probably not too much more content coming out. Nothing that you really
Yeah,
need to
y'all
consume.
have stopped. Y'all aren't putting anything else. Not too much else coming out on the West Coast. So now it's just
I can
time
go
to
get a smoothie.
relax. Yeah, like everything is done at 6 on our time. So boom. I have this large swath that I can work in. Here it feels so condensed that if you don't wake up at 9,
The day space.
yeah, if you wake up at noon,
bruh, oh my God.
Your
It
day
feel
is
like
gone.
a 5-second window because if you ain't out the door really at 9, and if you wait till 10, you
oh
be
my
like,
God, it's like 11. Oh my God, then it's,
then you missed.
oh
You
my
feel like you missed so much.
it goes so quickly. Like,
The fuck?
All right, we can keep this going for forever.
oh yeah, we probably should.
No, it's
it
his
is-
bag. And we're like, yeah, let's talk about some work.
yeah,
All
no,
right.
yeah.
All
We
right.
talk about work. That is definitely my bag. Like I like talking about work.
But we also all like what we're doing on a day-to-day
That's
basis.
very true.
So it's just like, and I definitely know a lot of people who do not.
If y'all don't like what y'all do, maybe reevaluate what you're doing
And how to get
because
to where you need to get.
He like
What-
me, bitch.
I will say is if you don't like your job, even if you're just going to get another 9 to 5, I suggest that because you're realistically going to work your full-time job more than you spend time at home and with any other person. So if you hate your job, that means that you hate a majority of your life. If you hate a majority of something, you might as well just say you hate all of it. So you hate your life. Why would you choose a route that means you hate your life? That's crazy. And this has been Conscious Reconstruction.